in for In Chicago. It's Matt McGill on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, WVON.
All right, happy Friday, everybody on the Talk of Chicago. It's the Matt McGill Show, 3 hours of power radio coming your way on this Friday. So much to talk about in the news, of course. The world is always spinning off its axis, and I'm just here to try to catch it, try to balance it. Talk about what it's like being black, living in America, being black, living in a world where the world is spinning around like crazy. How do we leverage our power, our black nationalism? Do we have black nationalism anymore? Here we are in 2026. Every other race of people out here are expressing themselves. They're identifying themselves. They're carving out their special interests, right? Their concerns. They're using politics to their advantage. Are we doing that? That's a question. You know what? That's a question we need to be asking ourselves. And we could do 3 hours on that. Are we using politics to our advantage? Period. Bottom line, period. Hello. And I know all the naysayers will get in here and say, well, we got all these black politicians. We got a black mayor. We got a black Cook County board president. But see, what we're doing is we're buying into, right, the figurehead. Shapiro, you don't have to cut the music. We're buying into that's all right. We're buying into the figureheads and not playing the game of politics. All right. You know what I'm saying? You got to play the game of politics, guys. See, we don't. Harold Washington, and I swear, I wish the mayor's office played politics a lot better. Right? He'd probably be better off maybe not looking at the poll numbers that he's looking at. A lot of what the mayor's going through is because he's black. There's no question about it. There's absolutely no question about it. Right? And then another big chunk of what the mayor's going through is just from making rookie mistakes. And not just him, his staff, people around him, just making some mistakes that you don't want to make. You don't necessarily need to make. Self-inflicted wounds. We all do it, but every mayor does that. Now, the question is this mayor going to get the benefit of the doubt, an opportunity, a second chance to keep building on what he's trying to do for the city? And I don't know that it's going to happen. You don't know that it's going to happen. It doesn't look good for the mayor. The mayor's only play is us. It's black America, period. Black Chicago, period. And we're all over the place. So then the chances of that don't look good, right? So here we go. This is what being black in America looks like. This is what being black and living in Chicago looks like. This is what being black and living on the South Side looks like, living on the West Side looks like, or wherever you live. Are we using politics to our advantage? And if the answer is no, then we're not playing the game of life, Holmes. We're not playing the game of life. We out here. We're playing. We're playing all right. We're playing some BS. We're playing though. And we are shucking and jiving and yes, sir, bossing. That's what we doing. But we playing, but we ain't playing the game of politics, which means we ain't playing the game of life, my brothers and sisters. We ain't getting it done. We ain't getting the job done. And we need to tighten up. There's no doubt about it. I am so amused by how, and I really, you know what? I want to get some establishment Democrats on and talk to them because I am so amused by the DSA and what they've done in New York. And I know people are pushing back on it. And I'm really fascinated by black people who want to be locked into the establishment Democratic Party, right? I am, and let me say this, I fully support the Democratic establishment. But I don't support what I'm hearing coming out of the mouths of Democrats. What did Jamie Harrison? I love Jamie Harrison. Jamie Harrison, former chief, head, CEO of the DNC. He made some comments, and I'm getting that this is a response to what we saw happen on Tuesday in New York. Some people are uptight about that. Get over it. You got young people in this country that give no F's about the Democratic establishment. And, oh, yeah, they're going to run as Democrats. And they are running to burn the house down to a degree. They are. And a lot of these Democrats that are in their 60s, 70s, that have been around for 30, 40 years have a lot of nerve to be talking smack about these young people in New York and these young people around the country, is my guess, that are trying to move the needle and change the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party needs to change. It needs to change. It needs to change. You're damn right. It needs to change. I tell you what, it needs to listen to these young people. Let me tell you this, man. I hope the Democratic Socialists of America, and I don't even know that we even have to call them DSA. See, that's another old school play. Let's label them so then we can target them with talking points. They're Democrats. They ran in a Democratic primary, and they won as Democrats. They're Democrats. Deal with them. Deal with them. Grow your tent. See, that's one of the problems with the Democratic Party when a lot of these people talk about Democratic elitists. Yeah, y'all need to grow the hell up. And 60 and 70 years old. Y'all need to grow the hell up. Step aside, make some room for these young people. I said the same thing when AOC got elected a couple of years ago. AOC knocked out a Democratic, old school Democrat, established Democrat candidate, been around forever. She knocked him out, and all the old heads lost their mind. Oh, my God, what happened? She's a bartender. She's a socialist. La-da-da-da-da. And now she's the most popular Democrat in Washington. Some of these Democrats need to go to hell, man, and letting the AIPAC run your party and tell you what you're doing, and you guys still scared. Just step aside. I'm going to tell you, the only thing that pissed me off about Tuesday was that Richie Torres won. And my brother Mike Blake, I love him to death, and he ran a good campaign, but a tough campaign. My ass. Richie Torres needs to be out of here. Hakeem Jeffries, man, I'm sorry. I love the brother, and I'll be happy if he becomes Speaker of the House, but Hakeem Jeffries got to go. He's not my man. He's bought and sold, and I'm sorry. That's just a game of politics, y'all. Y'all need to learn how to play it. 591-1690. Chaper's on the board. Annette's here until 1 o'clock. WVON News, Logan after that. Haley Vaughn's coming in. She's going to kick it for a minute. We're going to talk about Haiti, talk about the Supreme Court. That coming up at 12:35. Phone lines are open at 591-1690. Matt McGill Show. Get up on it, everybody.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
When you see things like what happened in Virginia, where they had a special election and expanded seats for the Democrats, Republicans have been putting their fingers on the scale of the elections forever. They've always done it. They've always gerrymandered. But now they have gerrymandered everything to the nth degree that they don't have any more room to gerrymander. And now these Democrats have picked up 10 to 12 seats. Even after this is all over, we got to get back to people who are involved in the pedophile ring. We got to get back to ICE brutalizing people. So the war is a distraction, but from some pretty horrible that we got to get back to.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90. Plus, free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago's up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Let's go non-stop. Close your eyes. Get your hands up high. We came to get down, y'all.
Fire, baby.
All right, sounds like a little house music. Is that our music for the day? Chicago house music. You know, we're celebrating the Chicago catalog. All the Chicago artists and sounds that came out of Chicago. We celebrated that all this month. And let's see, to 26. When's the last day of June? Let's see. Let me look at my phone here because it tells me Tuesday's the last day. All right, Tuesday's got to be R. Kelly then. I know it's got to be. It's got to be. I can't wait. Kels, free Kelly. Free R. Kelly. Free Kels. All right. Yeah. It's got to be, right? It's only a couple people left. We did Kanye already, didn't we? We did Kanye. I think, didn't we already do Kanye West? I think we did Kanye. Who's the greatest music artist in the history of Chicago? Who would be the person that we would say is the number one recording artist, the number one contributor to the music industry in the history of Chicago? Who would that be? Well, you got a lot of competition because you can say we haven't celebrated Nat King Cole, and King Cole was a badass. King Cole was the number one recording artist in America for a long time as a black man in the 40s and the 50s. He was a badass, y'all. Nat King Cole was Nat King Cole was outselling Frank Sinatra. Okay, whoever you want to put in any category. Nat King Cole, I think, even outsold Elvis a couple of times in the 50s. Nat King Cole was a badass. He was a bad boy. He built Capitol Records. When you go to L.A., they always say, that's the building. You see that Capitol Records building right there? That's the building Nat King Cole built. They tell you that. Who would be the baddest, the most celebrated, the recording artist who made the strongest contribution to the music industry from the city of Chicago? You'd have to put Nat up there. You'd have to put Curtis Mayfield up there. You got to put Maurice White up there. You got to put R. Kelly up there. You got to put Kanye up there. You got to put Thomas Dorsey up there. You got to put the staple singers up there. I would say the Jackson 5, but even though they got discovered in Chicago, they're technically from Gary. We can't cheat GI. Who else, guys? Jerry Butler was a bad boy. He had a run in. Who am I missing? House. We can talk about house music as a genre, no doubt about it. I feel like I'm missing a woman. What woman came out of Chicago? I feel like I'm missing somebody, a female. Oprah couldn't sing, so I can't say Oprah. Because Oprah might be, when you talk about, but Oprah's not from Chicago, even though she, got discovered in Chicago. Oprah might be the biggest and most impactful and influential person in the entertainment industry that ever came out of Chicago. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. What do you think, Annette? I think I'm gonna have to go with Jennifer can sing. Yeah, I mean, I'd mentioned Jennifer's. I love Jennifer Hudson. But you got to Jennifer, and she would be the first one to admit it. Oh, Common, I guess we could put up there. Jennifer would be the first one to admit that she can't. Shapiro, turn Annette's microphone on for me, please.
Is Minnie Rippleton from Chicago?
Minnie Rippleton's from Chicago. But I mean, in order to be mentioned in like the top 5, you're talking about people like Maurice White and Curtis Mayfield and Nat King Cole. That eliminates a lot of people, Annette. That eliminates a lot of people.
That's right. And, we're the blues capital of the world, so there's Coco Taylor.
I mean, you could say Coco, but I mean, even with blues, I don't even know if I put Coco at the top of the blues list, but I mean, Shaka's a bad girl. But I mean, so that's thanks for giving us some women to throw into the category. But I mean, who's the even if we talk blues coming out of Chicago, who would be number one? It would be Muddy Waters, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would say that.
I mean, Buddy is taking it.
I know he's not blues, but isn't Lou Rawls from Chicago?
Lou Rawls is from Chicago. I know. Lou had a run there.
Oh, wait. The best of all time. And this is my mom's favorite. Mahalia Jackson.
Mahalia, yeah. But see, you're getting in gospel, you say Mahalia. But I said Thomas Dorsey, though. And I mean, Thomas Dorsey has got to be like the all-time, gospel great, right? I don't know. Does any of these callers have an answer for me? Is that what St. Louis? I know that's not what St. Louis wants to talk about. I'll go with Zoe. Zoe, what's on your mind? Welcome to WVOA.
Brother Matt, how you, man?
Good.
Isn't for females? How can you forget Shaka Khan, brother?
No, I mean Shaka Khan, yeah.
For the females, but Matt, I got a question for you. Isn't Quincy Jones from Chicago?
Quincy was, from my understanding, Quincy Jones was either born here and raised in Seattle, or he was born in Seattle and raised here, something. So I guess you could put Q up there, and he would, and see, that's why I say the competition is like, if you put Q, because we celebrated Q this month. If you put Q in the conversation, then, like I said, man, you're eliminating everybody else who wasn't on his level as a producer, right?
Because he touched everything in music for so many years.
But see, that's why I put Curtis Mayfield up there, because Curtis was a recording artist and he was a A-list producer of his generation. So so everybody, and then there are only a couple of people you can put in that category, right? Being a A-list recording artist and a A-list producer. Now you're narrowing it down to like R. Kelly, Kanye, Curtis Mayfield.
Wow.
Maurice White.
Gotta
Herbie
look at
Hancock.
Perspective.
Herbie Hancock's a bad boy. Somebody said Herbie. That's
yeah, that was me, Matt.
Yeah, who's that? Yeah. See, I think Quincy Jones, if we're going to give Quincy Chicago, I think Quincy Jones, R. Kelly, Kanye, Curtis Mayfield, they eliminate a lot of people because they were producers as well. Nat King Cole goes up there because, to me, for him to be the number one recording artist in America during the 40s and the 50s, that is something that he has to be included in the top 5. Anthony, what say you, brother? Anthony going once.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man. Oh, you forgot Eugene Records.
Eugene, now Eugene's a bad boy, recording artist and a writer and producer. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I had Marshall on the show not too long. We did not play any Eugene Records songs. I don't think, did we play any Shy Lights this month? I don't think we did the Shy Lights at all. Oh man, that's a good one. Good one, Anthony. Eugene had a single out when he went solo that I liked. I'm gonna have to look that up. Lovell, welcome to WVO.
This is Lou. Oh,
Lou. All right.
Lou Barrow.
Lou Barrow. What's on your mind, real quick? Because I gotta go.
What about Jerry Butler?
Jerry Butler. We did Jerry Butler. I think we did say Jerry Butler.
Did?
Yeah, but no, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah, I love that. Jerry's a good one. No doubt about it, man. Jerry was a bad boy. No doubt about it. All right, when we return, guys, Elzer Cantave is going to join us, Chairman, Public Policy and Advocacy Committee Chairman of the Coalition of Haitian American Organizations in the Chicagoland area. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court ruling and the impact it's going to have on Haitian immigrants and why, as we know, if you are black or brown, you in trouble under this Trump administration. It's real. Don't go anywhere. Net has WVON News coming up right now.
We saw some light rain across our area. The National Weather Service is tracking for more. Good afternoon. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Some Chicago aldermen want answers after discovering that Mayor Brandon Johnson put in a bid for more than $3 billion to buy back the city parking meters without disclosing it first. The information surfaced yesterday during a Finance Committee hearing at City Hall. The city's law department confirmed that Johnson's administration submitted the bid in the fall of 2025, but refused to disclose the amount. Chicago's Venezuelan community is doing all they can to help the victims of Wednesday's earthquakes that killed more than 230 people and injured thousands. The head of the Venezuelan Alliance, Luciano Padota, says organizers are prioritizing what victims might need the most.
We were talking about sending tents also because there are a lot of people who are going to be displaced.
Padota adds that other needs include medicine, non-perishable food items, and some local restaurants are getting together to donate money. Chicago Public Schools is working to close a $732 million shortfall in their 2027 budget. Chicago Teachers Union Vice President Jackson Porter, that is sounding an alarm that CPS could face a shorter school year and up to 1,700 layoffs.
We know that from CPS and the city, we've been meeting weekly for months, that they believe they may have to cancel 2 weeks of school this year.
Now, schools officials tells the Sun-Times they are not planning to shorten the school year or cut the Safe Passage program to close the gap. A full budget is expected to be released by July 15th. And the 55th annual Pride Parade kicks off at 11 a.m. this Sunday. Now, the theme this year is Free to be Proud. The city's expecting hundreds of thousands of people to pack the parade route that'll travel south along Broadway, starting at Sheridan Road. Safety is one of the city's biggest concerns. The Chicago Police Department will be discussing their public safety preparation plan at a news conference today. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON, WVON News Time, 1233.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
It's the afternoon show.
Well, you got to remember, when we do it, it's called flued out.
We flew them
Girl, he flew me out.
Oh, my. Why are you putting my people down?
No, I'm just telling that's what we call it. That's what it is.
Out. You've had this conversation with someone.
I flew people out.
You flew people? I mean, flown people out? Now you got me saying.
If somebody telling me you flew me out, no, I'm not flying you nowhere after you just said that. I'm not.
I said I was about to until you said that.
Right.
The afternoon show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is your host and life coach, Linnell Harris, and I want you to join me every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Inspirational Perspective. On Inspirational Perspective, we talk life vision, life purpose, and the show is all about helping you live the best life possible. So join me as we look at supporting you in living the life you intend to live and making your life's vision a reality. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. WVON.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And the streets are burning, and the world keeps turning. There's nothing that I can hold on to. Just give me something, babe, till I can go crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And the streets are burning, and the world keeps turning. There's nothing that I can hold on to.
All right, guys, we're back. Yesterday, the United States Supreme Court handed down 2 immigration decisions that could reshape the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. One ruling clears the way for the Trump administration to end temporary protective status for more than 350,000 Haitians and thousands of Syrians. Of course it would, coming from the Trump administration. The other gives the administration greater authority to turn away asylum seekers at the southern border. What about turning away Europeans? Well, why don't we turn away some Europeans that come here? That's not part of Project 2025, guys. Y'all see, and the nerve of some people to call here and say, Chicago, we need Donald Trump to come and help us with crime. We need Donald Trump to stay away from Chicago. We need Donald Trump to stay away from black people, period. Anyway, Etzler Contave is on the live line with us with the Coalition of Haitian American Organizations right here in the Chicagoland area. Etzler, welcome to WVON. Just give me your thoughts on this and tell our listeners the impact this is going to have on the Haitian community here.
Well, thank you, Matt, for the introduction. And so, as you said, this was a terrible day for us Haitians in the Chicagoland and throughout the country, because this is something that we felt that was coming, but it really stunned us to see the kind of recklessness that was used in depriving the Haitian TPS holders from the ability to stay in the country as they have been for the longest. Some of them have been here since the earthquake, because that was what triggered that program, and that was the catalyst for that program. And since then, Haiti has been marred with instability, of all sorts. Nature made or man-made, whatever it is. So this is not the situation. The situation in Haiti is not conducive to that kind of decision by the Supreme Court. And and for a justice like Barrett, who I don't know if everybody knows, is the parent of two Haitian, where she adopted two Haitian kids. Now they are grown up and they're adults now. For her not to be the voice of reason in this situation on the Supreme Court, then okay, so that behooves it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's really that's it. And as you said, okay, this doesn't concern the any European immigrants. As a matter of fact, the Trump administration has been quite lenient, quite open. Open armed regarding the South African, the Afrikaners, the white South Africans. They offered them to resettle in the U.S. You rolled out the red carpet, last year to welcome them, because this is, if people don't realize that this is the replacement theory at work. Because everything that this administration does is to paint immigrants of darker
Sure.
skin colors.
Sure. Yeah, right.
In a very negative.
Right. It attacks people of color. I mean, this is so predictable from this administration, right, and from the Supreme Court, right? That I don't know that I'm surprised either. I kind of felt the Supreme Court, and I don't know. I didn't read the ruling. Not that I would understand it anyway, because I'm not an attorney. But the Cliff Notes kind of give you an idea of what some of the justices were thinking about this. But this just doesn't surprise me that a Trump Supreme Court, handpicked Supreme Court, would make this. I mean, there's some things they have surprised me on, and I'm sure surprised many people on, and have even surprised the president on. But I'm sure he's taking these rulings yesterday and kind of running with it. Tell me though, what is going to be the impact on the Haitian community though, and what cities in particular are going to be impacted by this?
Well, I mean, cities like New York, like Miami, like Boston, like Chicago, you name it. So those have a large influx of Haitian immigrant and CPS holders, and they are pretty much engaged in the economy of those cities. They are and these are people who have a good educational background, and they are contributing to the economy to the tune of billions of dollars. So returning 350,000 people, to a country that is beset by instability of all sorts. A country that it is my country, but we need to recognize the fact that this is not suitable to receive an influx of hundreds of thousands of people. They don't have the infrastructure to do that. They don't even have. I don't think any welcoming facility to house those people.
Well, let me answer why. I mean, I understand the conditions in Haiti are terrible and the government instability. What's the why behind that, brother? Why can't why can't there be a revolution or something in Haiti that turns that country around? Because it seems like we've been talking about this forever, about the corruption and the dysfunction of the government down there and violence and all the things in Haiti. What's the reason why Haiti cannot run itself as a legitimate democracy?
Well, I don't think we have enough time to address all these issues. And so there are internal reasons for all that, because we have a political class that is, as you said, is particularly, corrupt. I mean, it's sad to say, but it is the case. And they have no vision for the country, and they act in cahoots with some foreign and ill-advised and actors. So they do it because it takes a combination of those internal bad actors and foreign unintended actors to get Haiti the way it is, because nothing, and especially the U.S. administration, we have to say it, because there's nothing that goes on in Haiti that's not condoned by the American administration. So no decision is made that the State Department is not involved. So it is the situation. This is what it is. So it would take a lot of goodwill, a lot of, and it will take profound reforms. It will take profound reforms to take place in Haiti, to roll out the old system, to roll out the rapacious the bourgeoisie, to establish a system where Haitians will not take the risks of leaving the country and to expose themselves to all sorts of maltreatments wherever they are. So it would take some really well-intended and nationalists in Haiti to turn things around, to make sure that they provide for the majority of Haitians, because we have the resources, we have the natural resources, we have a population willing to work, willing to provide for themselves, but without guidance, without a political system that is conducive to those changes, without a judicial system, that distributes justice blindly, without some well-intended actors willing to sacrifice themselves for the benefit of all. We're not going anywhere, because we will always be responding to the diktats of foreign powers, because all they need is a subservient Haiti so that they can arrive at their own aims.
Etzer Cantave, chairman of public policy and the advocacy committee for the Coalition of Haitian American Organizations right here in the Chicagoland area. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you coming on the show and giving us some background and the impact that this decision this ruling by the Supreme Court yesterday is going to have on 350,000 Haitians here in America. Again, we know people of color be damned in Donald Trump's America, and that's just the reality. That's good. Thanks for coming on with us, brother. Appreciate you very much.
All right. It is Kadav. I'm sorry. Not
Kadav. Okay, Kadav.
Okay.
All right.
Sure. All right.
Thank you very much. All right, it's 12:49. Haley's in the studio. Let's take a break here. We'll chat with her when we come back. You're listening to the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Some cities create music. Chicago created a movement. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, a new sound emerged from Chicago's clubs, warehouses, and dance floors. It was called house music, driven by innovative DJs, producers, and artists like Frankie Knuckles, Marshall Jefferson, Farley Jackmaster Funk, and Cashmere. House music combined disco, soul, electronic rhythms, and pure creative energy into something entirely new. What started in Chicago quickly spread across the country and around the world, influencing everything from pop and hip-hop to EDM and dance music. Today, house music remains one of Chicago's greatest cultural exports, a sound born in the city, embraced by the world, and still moving people to this day. They gave Chicago its soundtrack, and the world never stopped listening.
The Chicago Catalog, an exclusive Black Music Month series brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90. Plus free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, how about time for a little house music? Time for the percolator. Is this house music day? Is that what this is? Okay, I had Wayne Williams on the other day. I think Sonia said something about today being house music day.
Really?
Around the country. Is that what's going on? Hey, Haley.
Hey, Matt.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Are you going to the old school picnic? Do you ever go to that?
I am.
You go?
I am. Yeah. So
Do you go every year?
I don't go every year.
Does your mom go?
My mom goes pretty much every year. A lot of the DJs she grew up with. So that's her jam. She goes every year. I have gone in recent years. I did not go last year, so I'm going this year.
So
I'm
I go,
excited to be back.
Yeah. I've been going just about every year. And I had Wayne Williams on the other day. When did Wayne come on? Day before yesterday. He came on Wednesday.
Okay, nice.
And so we talked about house
Chosen
music.
Few, yeah.
Chosen Few. Wayne started the Chosen Few.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling the story how he started it, him and and he had two versions of it, right? So I think he was telling me he had Batman in it, Robert Ellis, if y'all they were all at Mendel, and he started the first version of it, and then they all graduated and went to college, and then he brought in Tony Hatchett and Alan King and Jesse.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's how the second version of it is. Oh, we should get the camera on you. Everybody knows how I look. What have you been up to anyway?
Staying busy. I'm like, who am I? What day is it? We just finished Juneteenth weekend. So that was a successful, I think, weekend. Lots going on here in the city. Plenty.
So you got to see everybody. You got to see all the big shots.
I got to see some of the big shots. I was working an event. I got to
Haley
see
was at the party, y'all.
And it was called the party. Yes, I was at the party.
I'm mad at her. She didn't call me and tell me, Matt. Now I'm gonna open up the side door for you to sneak in.
Yeah. So that was fantastic. And then on Friday, I went to see Dave Chappelle. I took my mom. So we did that, and it was good. It was good. I've seen Dave now 3 times.
Have you really?
Yeah, just kind of coincidentally, but I'm definitely a fan.
You've seen him in concert 3 times.
I've seen him live
Right.
3 times. Yeah, I saw him twice when I was.
So you saw him
at
at this party on Thursday night.
I did.
And I
did. I told him, I gave him a hug, and I said, I'll be at the show tomorrow.
And what did he say?
He said, okay, good. So
he wasn't like, yeah, hey, make sure she gets backstage.
Right, exactly. I missed that opportunity, but I did shoot my shot. So.
My girl. Good work. Good work. Right.
But no, I enjoyed it. I have to say, I think I liked some of his other sets a little bit better.
Really?
That I've seen.
Did they record this?
Yes.
Did you see cameras
Our
there?
phones were pouched. So
but I'm saying, were there cameras there?
I didn't personally.
I mean, is this going to be like a Netflix special?
It's going to be a Netflix.
Okay,
special.
that's what I'm getting.
It's produced by Netflix. Yeah.
All
So
right,
Netflix, their marketing and all that was in, or what when he did his grand entrance, etc. It was framed as a Netflix special. It's going to be called like the Baldwin Theory or the Baldwin Experience, something in reference to a quote he used.
Did the Obamas go to the concert?
I would be surprised if they weren't there, but if they were there,
you would have known.
It was low key.
Well, the Secret Service kind of would have given it away, though.
I didn't see any in United Center, you come through this door, that door. I didn't see any Secret Service.
Oh, that's right. He was at the United Center.
It was United Center.
Was it sold out?
Big. It was sold out. It was a sold out show.
No kidding.
So,
how was the crowd? Was the crowd good?
Crowd was good. I mean, I just think the energy has been higher at other shows I've been to. I just think it's been a little funnier. I think that the flow, I mean, I revere Dave Chappelle. So in general, I don't have a lot of criticism for him, but still as a fan, I can offer my light criticism.
Sure. Well, you're supposed to.
I've seen funnier sets, and I think the flow could have been a little bit more cohesive, but I think the crowd was into it. I think some of his messaging was good. I liked what he was getting into and what he was trying to say.
Well, he's become a storyteller.
He is.
He intertwines his comedy and his storytelling, which I guess all comedians do, right?
Right.
But I mean, some comedians are stand-up comedians they're doing punchlines, right? They're telling jokes.
Yeah.
He's
taking a more intellectual.
He's doing an intellectual.
It's more of like a stand-up meets a TED Talk kind of a hybrid vibe, which I think is fine because I am familiar with that style, especially with him. But I just think that I've also been to see him where I'm cracking up, can barely breathe. And that was not this situation.
But now here's what's interesting, man, because you look at him and you look at DL Hughley. They both are doing the same kind of because DL is with his radio show. He's on it, man. He comes on WVON early in the morning.
Yeah, I follow DL.
Yeah, DL is like on the current events, political issues, topics, talking about good stuff.
Yep.
And making it funny.
Yep, he is.
Making it funny.
He is.
He said that we were playing a promo. He said some joke. I mean, he turned it into a joke. I know, Sonya, you probably heard it. He was talking about the Ku Klux Klan burning crosses, and then he was talking about how
Grant Park, that kid that burned the cross in Grant Park.
Yeah, but so he was talking about the Klan burning crosses, and he was talking about the Black Panther Party doing back in the day having a breakfast program. Right. And he was saying how they would try to characterize, I think, and I might be off on this, that, you know, they try to characterize the Black Panther Party as a terrorist group, like it was like the Ku Klux Klan.
That's why the FBI came after that.
And he was making the point, this was an organization that was providing breakfast for poor Black children, you know, in the inner cities around America. And he said the Klan, they were up here burning crosses on people's lawns. But then he made the joke, but I guess you could have heated your breakfast up on the cross. Which is just some quick, quick thinking comedy. He was like, I guess you could heated your breakfast. That is funny and ingenious, right?
Exactly.
That's Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Very much so. I mean, obviously a lot of political. Okay.
Yeah, that's Dave Chappelle. All right, more about is Haley in the two shot there? All right, more about Haley's life. She went to the party of all parties. All right, I'm not gonna bust her out on the air. I mean, the party's over. You can talk about it now.
Yeah, I guess I can.
Right, it's over with.
It's over. It was super airtight.
Okay.
Super airtight.
She got to holler at Dave Chappelle. Did you talk to Kelly Rowland?
I actually did.
I got a picture of Kelly Rowland, me and Kelly.
I almost bumped into Kelly, and we had a "Hey girl" smile moment, which meant so much more to me than it did to her, obviously.
Is that right?
I was just thrilled, and honestly, there were so many people, but I missed out on a couple people I heard were there, and for whatever reason, it was so busy, didn't see. So.
Okay, all right, more with Haley and whatever else we're talking about on a Friday. It's the Matt McGill Show.
It's finally Friday in Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Serena Williams set for historic Wimbledon return. Chicago reportedly bids $3.3 billion to buy back city parking meters. TSA 4th of July air travel expectations, and death toll soars to nearly 600. An earthquake hit Venezuela. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
BIN News Now. The family of Jabari Peoples say they're still heartbroken and looking for answers after Peoples was shot and killed by a Homewood, Alabama cop. It happened about a year ago, and his family held a vigil this week to honor his memory while still demanding justice. Peoples, who was 18 years old at the time, was in a parked car when he got into some type of altercation with that cop. Here's one activist speaking to WBRC.
We're calling to our people to stand up, to fight back, to get loud.
Well, the Mississippi Supreme Court says it will not hear an appeal from the Hinds County School District after they fired an assistant principal, Toby Price, in 2022 after he read the book, I Need a New Butt, to a second grade class. Federal probation officers say they want Lil Bootsy's probation revoked after they say he got into some type of incident in Texas. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Bootsy is currently serving 3 years of supervised release. I'm Timmy Eswick with BIN News Now. Back to you, Terry.
The U.S. has sent crews and supplies to Venezuela following a pair of powerful, deadly earthquakes that toppled buildings and left many trapped under rubble. Speaking in Bahrain, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said help is on the way.
We're already deploying a search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles. There'll be some others we'll add. That's the most immediate need right now is search and rescue efforts.
There are at least 160 casualties, and that number is expected to rise. Over 1,000 people were injured as a result of the magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 quakes. Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez has declared a state of emergency. A federal judge is striking down President Trump's executive order seeking to create an internal list of eligible voters based on available data. The executive order directs the U.S. Postal Service to only deliver mail-in ballots to individuals on each state's voter roll of federally approved citizens based on available citizenship data. However, the judge issued the fourth order striking down the action and echoed her colleagues in affirming that states have authority over their election processes. According to the judge, the president plays no direct role in the process of appointing electors, nor does he have authority to control the state officials who do. All right, will he or won't he? A sweeping housing affordability bill appears headed for President Trump's desk to be signed after a meeting yesterday with House Speaker Mike Johnson to salvage the bipartisan legislation. South Carolina's Black Senator Tim Scott recently touted the bill.
2026 is the year of affordability. The American people have been desperately seeking housing, and President Trump got it right in the State of the Union when he said housing should be for people and not for corporations.
But Trump unexpectedly canceled plans to sign the bill aimed at increasing housing supply, lowering costs, and restricting large corporate investors' role in the market. The bill became inextricably linked in House negotiations with the Save America Act, a controversial voting bill that Trump wants enacted. If he vetoes the housing measure, it would return to Congress. A veto override is a strong possibility as the 21st Century Road to Housing Act was passed overwhelmingly in the House and Senate. Johnson is indicating the bill is back on track. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says he's hoping Democrats remember when the primary elections are over that the party's enemy is Donald Trump. He told MS Now that the enemies are Trump and MAGA extremism in terms of trying to bring about the type of America that we all desire. Jeffries says when you work hard and play by the rules, working class people can live a good, affordable life. New York races saw Democratic candidates who have been vocal critics of Israel's government and who have led or taken part in pro-Palestinian protests defeat incumbents who support Israel after the Hamas attack. Jeffries says he supports Israel's right to exist and the aspirations of the Palestinian people to achieve the dignity that they appropriately desire. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow BIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
June is Pride Month. It's a celebration for people who live out loud. We are WVON.
Drinking enough water helps your kidneys function properly and supports your body's natural filtration system. And that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois.
Yo, fellas, when was the last time you checked in with you? We're bringing the barbershop talk to the airwaves. It's time to get real about our wellness, identity, and what it means to feel good from the inside out. The Groomer Room is back. A no-fluff radio series made for the fellas, by the fellas. We're talking health, hustle, healing, and everything in between. No filters, no judgment. Real conversations that hit home, whether you're grinding, growing, or just trying to figure it all out. This space is for you. Listen weekly on Thursdays from June 4th to June 26th. It will be hosted by Matt McGill, Atiba Buchanan, and Rufus Williams. Only on the station that brings you what's now and what's next. 1690 WVON, the Groomer Room, where the real ones pull up.
It's Gospel with Pam Morris Walton, your gospel sister, on WVON Sundays, 11 to 2 p.m. Music to help you on your journey. I'll see you there, WVON.
The movement for repair is growing, from city halls to parliaments and around the world, from Chicago to Cape Town, from Evanston to the UN. I'm Robin Ruth Simmons.
And I'm Cam Howard. Together we're bringing you Reparations Now, where we talk power, policy, and progress, local, national, and international.
It's about justice.
It's about repair. It's about time.
Reparations now, because justice cannot wait.
Reparations Now, Saturdays at 4 p.m., only on WVON 1690.
Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berlin, Chicago. It's Matt McGill on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
You were my lady, and your love was true. But as soon as I turned my back, baby, look what you're going to do. Start sneaking at you, using me like a tool. Now I know the deal, I can see right through you. I said, you ain't really down. Playing the games you do. I said, you ain't really down.
You know, I'm going to tell you, this is like a house anthem for sure. There's nothing like being at the old school picnic at about, like for me, at about like 7 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
Man, I'm telling because everybody goes early, right?
Early. Yeah.
Everybody's there early,
Like 3
and then people are tired.
Yeah.
By 5 o'clock, they're leaving,
Right.
and because they're tired. I don't get there until about 5.
Oh, okay.
I don't get there until about 5.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, there's a moment at the old school picnic about 7, but because I think they try to close it down at 10.
Uh-huh.
But or maybe 9, but man, like 7, 8 o'clock, that whoever the DJ is on, like the last DJ to be on, the crowd kind of thins out a little bit, so it's not so overwhelming, right? And then everybody kind of comes closer to the stage, and the real house heads, they are there,
after
and it's a moment. I'm telling you, every year the real house heads stay all the way to the end.
Yep.
And there's a moment like whoever the final DJ is, they know that's like an honor to be that last DJ that's closing it out. And when I tell you, man, that last hour at the old school picnic is off the chain, man. I don't even know.
Maybe this year I got to stay the whole time. I think
you,
I'm usually out of there around like 6, 7, like you said.
Yeah, 5 people, because it's hot. Number one, the sun. You got people getting out there at 8 o'clock in the morning, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning out there, right? So they're setting up, they're getting the tent set up, they're doing their thing, and they're picnicking and drinking.
Right.
And drinking.
Yes.
Because I know when I get out there, when I tell you, I think the earliest I got out there one year was, and this was not too long ago, former Alderman Leslie Harrison had her tent up, and whoever was supposed to be making her drinks and bartending for her didn't show up.
Uh-oh.
And she was pissed, and she was like, Matt, I got a problem. She's like, my drinks, somebody was supposed to be mixing drinks for her. She's like, I need help, because she has a tent where a gazillion people were coming through her tent. So I was like, all right. So I went to the store, bought a bunch of stuff, because I was doing her senior breakfast that she had. Every year she would have not a breakfast. She would have like a senior picnic. Luncheon over behind the museum, Science Industry, where the little there's a little boat docking area over there where a lot of black boat guys hang out. It's really a cool spot.
I think people do a lot of picnicking over there. I think my mom has a group of is there a group of Kenwood alum or something that does picnic? Everybody.
Where did your mother go to Kenwood?
She didn't. She lived over there, but she was a Catholic school girl.
And I'm sure I've asked her this.
She was on the north side at Immaculata, but it's no longer.
Oh, Immaculate. Oh, that's right. She did tell me that.
She always talks about taking the bus from the south side to the north side, but she was in Catholic school. She always says she should have went to Kenwood, but all her friends went there or Lab or wherever. So
of course they did. Whitney Young, right? Where did Mark go? He went to Whitney Young.
Diva South.
He went to Diva. Oh, that's right. He said yeah, that's. But I mean, it's like because when I get there at 5 o'clock, a lot of people are leaving, man, and they're ripped. They're like, man, I've been here since 8 o'clock in the morning. And me and Mia are getting there. We're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We're ready,
to get the day going.
And man, when I tell you that last hour at the old school picnic is nuts, man. It is. I might have some of those.
I'm going with some friends, so I'm going to tell everyone. All right, Matt says we got to stay for the last hour and experience. And my friends and I, we love house music, and obviously with young folks, it's really transitioned and grown, and preserving the real true Chicago roots of house music for Black people, etc. And preserving that legacy is so important. But it's expanded. I was saying we're supposed to go see a DJ in Grant Park this evening who I think is out of the UK. Who's a house music artist, but it makes sense, all these different music things today, because it's House Music Day.
It's House Music Day, and we were talking about that, with Wayne Williams the other day. We were talking about the evolution of house music, why house music is unique to Chicago and different areas, especially New York. They called it different things. It wasn't called house music in the early days, in the early 70s. When it came to Chicago put its own spin to it. It became house music because of the warehouse that was here, right? Frankie Knuckles and Ron Hardy, other DJs that were playing there over the years. So the warehouse, and then became house music, but disco. And Wayne named all the different
like
different
influences?
labels.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
okay.
dance music, whatever it was,
Right.
disco,
EDM, disco,
right.
all that,
So
yeah.
now, right. So now we see different classifications. It's called, you know, but kind of like the similar beats, right? You know, and so, but house music still, and one way you kind of distinguish house music is by some of the legendary songs.
Yes.
These are songs that we kind of grew up with, and these were the songs that DJs were playing in Chicago on WBMX, and these are the songs that kind of made house music what it was for us as Chicagoans, right? These particular songs, the ones
Right. And influence set it off from the start. I mean, that was the beginning.
yeah, and so that part, but man, that last hour, sister, I'm telling you, man.
But
But your friends might find it boring though, because I don't want to tell you.
I'm going with my house music specific friends. We are down for
house
it.
heads,
We're there to be. We are there to be the youngins in the OG vibe, and we're going to I always have a good time.
Yeah.
And I've gone with friends in the past, and we have a ball. But you know, it's not a lot of young people out there, but we kind of like it that way because we can just catch the vibe and embrace and just join in with the people who've been doing this for years.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts, man. And what you see, and to me in those last 2 hours, what you see is, like I said, a lot of people leave, and then the people that are like still there are just like dedicated house heads, and they get closer to the stage, and you just see everybody is dancing.
Yep.
And the thing I love about the Old School Picnic and house music in particular, just growing up going to these parties, one thing you notice is that people dance whatever way they want to dance.
Yes.
There's no particular dance that they're doing.
Freedom.
There's no particular, I'm doing this or I'm doing this dance, or they are
Trying
just
to be
doing
cool,
they are
right.
doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And they absolutely are careless about who's looking. They could care less about if they look cool dancing. They are just totally engrossed into the music.
Let the music
and
move
they are
you.
just by dancing by themselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They are just out there at the picnic. They are just out there doing their thing, man. And I always had this moment where I'm just looking around at everybody, and it's like everybody's into their own thing. They're dancing to the same song, but it's like you look at all these
variations,
people, just
right?
Everybody into their own
But
thing.
that's
man.
the beautiful thing. It's open to interpretation. You know, it's really for the people.
House. All right, we're coming back. What should we talk about today? I don't know. What you find anything interesting news wise? I was talking about the Democratic Socialists of America. Did you watch any of that, or were you?
I've read up a little bit on that.
The races that happened in New York and the Democratic
And
Party,
what's going on with
and how the establishment Democratic Party is reacting to DSA. So whenever you hear people say DSA, guys, they're talking about the Democratic Socialists of America, which I think they don't want to be labeled. I don't think they do. I don't know. And I think labeling them is a way for the Democratic Party, the establishment, to go after them. So let's label them.
Separate, right? Because
Let's
they don't want
separate.
to lose their
Lose what?
crossing of the aisle ability and using, quote unquote, the S word.
And
they're worried that's going to run
Oh,
everybody off.
Okay.
So my take is that is kind of they're trying to preserve without committing
so here's
to the socialism.
So
vibe.
what's the opposite of socialism is capitalism, right?
Exactly.
For the most part, right? That's what we say. But what is capitalism giving us, though? Here's the reason.
The economy that we're dealing with.
The economy.
Right
I mean,
here.
and I want to be honest about it. Capitalism has gotten us a lot of great things, right? It's helped build this country that is this great United States of America. But also, it's given us all of the wealth at the top, right? We talk about the 1%ers. We talk about all of the wealth that exists in this very small percentage of Americans that have this very small percentage of Americans that have what percentage of the wealth in the country?
Yeah.
So, and that's fine, man. I think people should be rewarded for their ingenuity, their hard work, technology, all of that. But what is capitalism? How does that benefit the average person?
Right.
How does that? And I think you have some billionaires out here that really want to
help.
They want to answer that question. They want to be a part of making sure that the country is good and that their wealth is a catalyst for education and housing, affordable housing, and access to capital, and so the Americans can be doing better than they are, right? But we got to ask ourselves, at the end of the day, this experiment that has been the United States of America and has been capitalism, is it working when you got 1% of the people control all of this wealth? Hold that thought, Haley Vaughn. We'll talk about that and a lot more when we return on the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Ready to enhance your financial knowledge? WVON and JP Morgan Chase have come together to provide the information you need to become your most prosperous. Matt McGill, host of WVON's Matt McGill Show, is creating dialogue around your money matters. Check out these priceless gems of knowledge. Let's open the treasure and see what's in store.
What do you think are the pros and cons of renting versus buying? Are there any unexpected benefits from choosing to buy a home?
Great question. Very important question as well. Deciding whether to rent or buy a home comes down to weighing the ups and downs of each option. Buying a home lets you build up equity as you pay off your mortgage, which can be handy for things like home improvements, paying off debt, or helping out with college. Plus, owning means you can really make the place your own with renovations or expansions as well. There might be some tax perks like deductions or mortgage interest or property taxes. On the flip side, buying a home is a big financial commitment up front and comes with ongoing costs like repairs and possible property tax hikes as well. It also ties you down, making it tougher to move quickly if life throws a curveball at you, like a new job in a different city. Renting, on the other hand, usually means less money up front and no worries about maintenance, giving you the freedom to move more easily if your situation changes. However, renting has its downsides as well. You won't build equity and there are no tax breaks. Plus, you might have to move if the rent goes up or the property gets sold. In the end, whether you rent or buy depends on your financial situation, your lifestyle, or your future plans.
Yeah, this is such an important topic because we know that home ownership is key to building generational wealth. We talk about that all the time. What is the first thing we need to consider when deciding whether or not to become a homeowner?
There are a ton of factors to consider when buying a home, but the most important thing is your lifestyle. Keep in mind, buying a house isn't for everyone. Some questions you may ask yourself include, what's my current lifestyle? What do I like and dislike about my current living situation? Am I ready for a long-term investment? And where do I settle down? Your lifestyle plays a major part in your readiness to buy a home. These questions are by no means a comprehensive list of things to consider when buying a home. However, if your answers indicate that you need more flexibility and that you need more time to make a decision, it may be best to continue renting in a location you find desirable. That way, you can determine the neighborhood, costs, and lifestyle advantages of the area you're considering buying.
Thank you, Matt. For more information, visit jpmorganchase.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90. Plus, free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Oh, yeah. Sort of house heads.
I confess to be the deputy of love.
Come on.
I confess to be the deputy of love. I get the ones
Oh, yeah, it's my high school years. Come on. Come on, y'all. Come on, house heads. Come on. I'm the deputy of love. I'm the deputy of love. Come on, y'all. Huh, huh, huh. Come on.
See, this feels right out of disco too.
Okay, right. It is though, right?
Right out of earlier house.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This is my high school years here.
I like this.
Yeah, this is an old house song. This is one of the old anthems. Like somebody.
I can hear that crossover of the timing. Yeah.
I bet this came out in the early '80s or maybe late. Huh? Where'd it say 80? Yeah.
80. Okay. Yep.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Yep.
We got a couple of phone calls. St. Louis has been holding on. So what were we talking before we went to break? We're talking about Democratic Socialists of America, the establishment Democrats are, because I'm considering you a young person. You're a friend of mine's daughter, so you're a young person.
I am a
Do
young
you feel any energy from the DSA?
Energy in terms of what?
Do you feel any connection, or are you learning more about? Because the Democratic Socialists of America have. They've taken on a couple of positions, right? And what they're doing is they're running in these primaries and they're going after establishment Democrats that they feel have been harboring bad policies and not paying. I mean, it's the Zoran Mamdani model. And we're going to talk about affordability, and we're going to talk about spending money in what they call these forever wars. Namely, they're talking about every war that we fought in the Middle East. That's really what they're talking about. So it's got an angle that goes toward Israel and AIPAC for that reason, because when you say forever, if you say war, any war in America, what wars have we been participating in except for wars in the Middle East? I mean, that's all we've been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the United States hasn't been engaged in any war anywhere else in the world.
No.
We're not messing around with China. We're not messing around with North Korea or anything, even over in that hemisphere part of the world.
Not yet.
We're not. We're just toying around. We don't step on Russia's toes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the Middle East, we got some brown people.
Right. Well, I think the DSA.
That got oil.
Yeah, I think that I am still learning, watching, observing. That's the phase I'm in. I think that a lot of, I'm millennial. I think that there's a lot of fire and urgency for this big, political 180 culturally that I've seen a lot be popular more with Gen Z in terms of some of the views. I think that, like any party, there's extremism. I think there's probably some extremism showing up in the DSA. But what I will say is people are admiring and appreciating what Mamdani has been able to implement in New York, running as, a candidate that identifies as socialist. And so I think that we acknowledge, I think many of us who are still watching, participating, and we do have ideas for the future, what we'd like our government to look like on a national scale, not just in individual cities, right? I think that socialist policies are popular conceptually, but I do think that there is going to be some hesitation, some pushback.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just with everyone, with many, to identify and adopt and readily label
and squash
and take on, right, or not even right, just to jump in to the deep end on some of those other heavier, more, like I said, extremist concepts. I think that there's a lot to be considered here. I think that young people, young folks, and I'm using that to define, anyone between, let's say, 20 and 40, right? we are looking for the type of change that we think we could see. But I do think that already diving in on DSA, I'm not sure about that quite yet.
Right.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, but I also
and
think
a lot of people are still.
You see this when you see a little breakout inside of another party. I mean, we saw like. This is an example of Tea Party within the Republican Party, right?
Within the Republican
became
Party,
an extremist version of what we knew that.
And they ran after some establishment Republicans and took them down.
Right.
They did the same thing.
Yeah.
They established themselves. They but they didn't burn the party down.
Exactly.
I mean, and so
they didn't outgrow. They didn't become bigger than the party too.
And look at here we are in 2026. What a Tea Party. We're going back to 2010.
Yeah.
Right. And here we are in 2026, and the Republicans run both houses of Congress and the Supreme Court and the presidency. So what all of the sky is on fire about the Tea Party didn't manifest itself into destroying the Republican Party. The Republican Party had to go through some growing pains now, didn't it? Yeah. And there was a far right side of that party that was saying, you guys need to be more conservative.
Right.
You guys need to be more right wingers.
Right. And people didn't respect, but they didn't earn the respect to be taken quite that seriously either. I would say.
All right. Well,
so.
All right. St. Louis, hold on. Mark, hold on. Phone lines are open at 591-1690. We'll get you your calls. Logan Page as WVON News right now.
Hope you're having a fantastic Friday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's what's happening in your local and national news. We have a date for Serena Williams' historic Wimbledon comeback. WVON's Annette Flournoy reports.
Come this Tuesday, the 44-year-old tennis superstar is expected to face 20-year-old Maya Joint in the first round at Wimbledon for the first singles match in nearly 4 years. Williams has won 7 titles at Wimbledon and is one of the greatest to have ever played the game. Meanwhile, Joint, despite her potential, has posted an unfortunate 315 win-loss record in 2026. Annette Flournoy, Our News Now, 1690 WVON.
In other news, several Chicago aldermen are demanding answers after learning that Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration reportedly submitted a bid of more than $3.3 billion to buy back the city's parking meter system. The bid made in fall 2025 was confirmed by the city's law department, though officials declined to reveal the exact amount. Investment firm Stonepeak reportedly offered about $2.53 billion and was surprised by the city's higher bid. Any change in ownership must still receive approval from the Chicago City Council before Stonepeak can officially take control of the parking meter system. In other news, the death toll in Venezuela has soared to almost 600 after Wednesday's devastating earthquakes. Rescue workers and civilians are racing against time to reach possible survivors buried beneath rubble. Officials said thousands were also injured when the back-to-back magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 quakes hit. The U.S. is rushing search and rescue teams and humanitarian supplies to the country. Experts from California-based International Urban Search and Rescue and Virginia's renowned Task Force 1 are among them. Both teams are specialized in searching for earthquake victims. And TSA is bracing to screen nearly 19 million air travelers across the 4th of July holiday period. The TSA senior official says the security checkpoints are fully staffed and prepared to welcome these travelers and handle the large passenger volumes during the June 30th through July 6th period. The highest traffic is expected on July 2nd, with an expected 3 million people traveling through airports that day. The agency recommends travelers arrive early and check with their airline before their departure. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
Some cities create music. Chicago created a movement. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, a new sound emerged from Chicago's clubs, warehouses, and dance floors. It was called house music, driven by innovative DJs, producers, and artists like Frankie Knuckles, Marshall Jefferson, Farley Jackmaster Funk, and Kashmir. House music combined disco, soul, electronic rhythms, and pure creative energy into something entirely new. What started in Chicago quickly spread across the country and around the world, influencing everything from pop and hip hop to EDM and dance music.
Today, house music remains one of Chicago's greatest cultural exports, a sound born in the city, embraced by the world, and still moving people to this day. They gave Chicago its soundtrack, and the world never stopped listening.
The Chicago Catalog, an exclusive Black Music Month series brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is your host and life coach, Linnell Harris, and I want you to join me every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Inspirational Perspective. On Inspirational Perspective, we talk life vision, life purpose, and the show is all about helping you live the best life possible. So join me as we look at supporting you in living the life you intend to live and making your life's vision a reality. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. WVON.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, so here, Haley Vaughn in the studio with me, hanging out, y'all. Here's what I got. Democratic Socialists of America is the largest socialist political organization in the United States. It was formally established in 1982, but its roots go back to the early 70s. The DSA was created by the merger of two organizations, the Democratic Socialist Organizing Committee, founded in 1973 by Michael Harrington. Harrington was best known for his 1962 book, The Other America, which influenced President Lyndon B. Johnson's war on poverty. Now check that out. There's a little bit of a history. Harrington believed socialists should work within the Democratic Party rather than create a separate socialist party. Now, this is back in the 60s, y'all. Okay? The New American Movement, founded in 1971 by activists from the New Left and the student movement of the 1960s. See, young people are at the core of these movements, right? Mm-hmm. The National American Movement emphasized grassroots organizing, feminism, civil rights, and local activism. The two groups merged in Detroit in 1982, forming the Democratic Socialists of America with approximately 6,000 members. What do they believe in? Universal health care. We all can agree on that.
The concept, right?
Strong labor unions, right? So all right, okay, because labor unions kind of bring about some financial equity.
Yes.
Making sure that you are
And a class groups.
Right, and not right? And aren't we? Because we're talking about, when we talk about livable wages,
not just for white collar jobs, for blue collar jobs.
Exactly. When you think of working class, right? All right. Tuition free public college.
Hello.
Anybody opposed?
Society.
So far, I'm Facebook Live. Anybody opposed to any of these tenets of the Democratic Socialist Party? Affordable housing, expanded voting rights. Sounds like the Democratic Party to me, y'all.
Yeah.
Higher taxes on wealthy individuals and corporations. Okay.
We've been arguing that
one. And that's kind of like Mayor Johnson a little bit, right? And I understand where that fight happens. If I'm a billionaire, I'm a pushback on that. I get it. greater public ownership or democratic control of some sectors of the economy. And this is probably where you start clashing, because what does that mean?
Right.
And that is where this conversation, I think, gets a little interesting, right? Because when you talk that last one, it's interesting that that's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Greater public ownership or democratic control of some sectors of the economy. And I would have to get a socialist on to talk about that and explain that. I get in general what they're talking about here, but that's no different than, for example, let me tell you this, down in the South. Now check this out. In the South, in red states like Alabama in particular, in fact, I'll just say Alabama because I know this to be true in Alabama. When you go buy liquor in Alabama, you are buying it at a state-run owned store. Okay? What's the difference in that and what we're talking about here? Public ownership of a sector of the economy.
Okay.
Am I lying? Anybody, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody out there in Facebook Live, or you can call in right now at 591-1690, because I know we got a ton of black people that go to Alabama. Am I misguided in thinking this? That in Alabama, the state owns the sale of liquor down there. That's why so many people from the South.
That's why they can control the tax.
They control the tax,
right?
And it's higher. And that's why a lot of them, when they come to Chicago, they load up on alcohol.
Interesting.
Our alcohol sales, you can buy alcohol in Chicago cheaper in the state of Illinois, cheaper than you can down south.
I did not know
that.
Oh
my God, they come up here and load up and go back south.
Wow.
Yeah. If I'm wrong, correct me. Facebook Live, everybody, you guys know. All right. St. Louis has been holding on for a long time. St. Louis, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
I'm going to tell you why I hold on, because I think there are some important things that need to be said, and they need to be said the right way or a better way. And I know a lot of your senior audience is not going to agree with this. I do believe standing up and letting people know the truth about who you are. And if I'm a socialist, no doubt about it. I believe in it. I've always believed in it. And I've watched it come and go and get better, and then programs are taken away. I believe in helping people. And the only way you can help them is to stand up for those people. The rich people don't need help as far as I'm concerned. It's the poor people that need help. And the socialists are the only ones who are making our government get off their butt and stop spending money on these wars. And when you said there's no wars but everywhere else, there's a war right here on Black America now.
Okay. All right. All right.
It's getting ready to get worse.
Okay.
And if the socialists do not step in, we're going to have that. But I do want to make a point about the older people stepping aside. Now, I have gone on I'm not going to put my age out there, but I'm over 60. I'm not no young buck. So by the people that are older than me that have gamed the system, they've gotten donations and started these organizations, mainly helping themselves and helping a few people rather than, and I'm talking about the Jesse Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, the Reverend Farrakhan's. That's part of our problem too, is that we have not invested in our young people. And so now at 60 years old, you're going to come and ask me, oh, come get in your organization, when you could ask me 40 years ago. And so our kids are out here killing each other because they have nothing else to do. The parents don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. And these kids, they see this. They're not stupid. And so I tell people, don't come talking to me about some bad kid. Talk about some of these doggone bad adults that have been greedy and been stealing. And there's a certain group of them that are basically just running like a pack. And these politicians know who they are. They all playing a system. And I'm tired of it, man. I don't mean to offend people. I love me some Mama D. But some of these grandpas and these grandmas, you should not be in an office for 30, 40, 50 years. That's ridiculous. That's been turned into a paycheck for you. There needs to be term limitations. That's it right there.
Well, what do you think?
I mean, I agree.
Good call.
Yeah,
St. Louis.
I think that we're talking about a couple of different issues here. But I do think to your last point, St. Louis, about where would we be benefiting from regulating some turnover? I'm assuming my interpretation was just kind of in our society, the way we're functioning, the way we're looking at passing the torch to young people, and how some of these more progressive concepts that we're looking to kind of lead our way forward would fare well under new leadership or under new way of thinking. That was what I was taking away.
And let me be clear, though, guys. As we talk about socialists or the Democratic Socialists of America, right? And any point that I make about older politicians, you know, what I was talking about, what we have seen happen in New York with AOC. She took out a guy that had been in office probably about 20 years, I think. And I'll go look it up because maybe it's not that long. But he had been in office. He was an establishment Democrat, right? AOC took him out, this young person, and now we see AOC. I thought I saw AOC in Chicago during
last week.
Yeah,
she probably was.
But then again, I saw her at the Knicks parade, so I thought maybe I just saw somebody that looked like her.
I mean, you know how fast people move. She could have been at the parade.
She could have been at the parade because I was at Gibson's and I looked at this woman that looked just like
you
her.
Thought you saw her on the street?
Yeah, at Gibson's, and she looked at me.
I mean, maybe.
And it was like we both were about to say something to each other, like "Hi,"
right.
And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I was just kind of, and I was like, "Was that AOC?" I couldn't tell if it was her or not. But you look at AOC, and she took out a guy, and then you look at what just happened on Tuesday. Dan Goldman, established Democrat, pro-Israel, big time. That he got blasted on his pro-Israel stance, his apex. Dan Goldman looks like a great guy, but they went after. I'm not even talking. You don't have to be old to be a target, right?
Right.
Your thoughts can be old. You can be younger, and your thought you could just be out of touch.
Oh, we see a lot of that.
Because Bernie Sanders is old, and he is the number one socialist.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's be clear about that, y'all.
Yeah.
Mark, hold on, because I'm running out of time here in this segment, so I want to make sure I got Mark, John, Mark Carter, and Byron. You guys all hold on. We'll get to your calls at 591-1690. Haley Vaughn in the studio with me. Logan and Lexi coming up at 2:30 with their weekly segment as well. We missed it last week as we were all at the Obama Center. And, of course, we're talking about the impact because I'm seeing a lot of Democrats and a lot of loyal Black establishment Democrats are concerned as well. And so what I am hoping happens with the DSA is I hope that they grow enough and I hope that they get young Black people involved. Because here's what's interesting. Black America is disgruntled with the Democratic Party.
Correct.
So some of this energy that's coming out of DSA, I'm wondering why there isn't a merger between disgruntled Black people and the DSA, because that energy is the same. Black people feel like the Democratic Party has not been serving them well.
I feel like, there's other people at the top of DSA that might not be looking at Black people and Black community as their main target audience right now, but they should.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about it some more. We'll take more phone calls. 591-1690, Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
He has the lowest approval rating of any president in history. It is so bad, they stopped doing polls. The job numbers are so bad, they stopped tabulating. If you look at the most unpopular leaders in the world, it is Netanyahu and him over North Korea and Russia.
They've been pretty chill.
So don't act like this is just something people are reacting to, because he used the Constitution like Sharman.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This June on Vaughn TV, the culture takes center stage. First, dive into the stories behind today's biggest names in music with a new original series now trending hip-hop. From the lyrical mastery of Kendrick Lamar, the fearless creativity of Doechii, to the genre-bending brilliance of Doja Cat and Tyler, the Creator. Discover how these artists are shaping music, culture, and the future of hip-hop.
Chart-topping, genre-bending, culture-defining. These are the new voices. The digital poets of a generation raised on hustle, hashtags, and heartbreak. They're not waiting for a seat at the table. They're building their own. This is more than music. This is a movement. This is hip-hop.
And for music lovers who appreciate where it all began, don't miss Echoes Across the Tracks, the history of the blues. Narrated by Morgan Freeman, this powerful documentary traces the roots of the blues from the Mississippi Delta to its worldwide impact, exploring the music that helped generations endure, inspire, and overcome.
You ever go into any club and they're playing that kind of music, it's not rock and roll, it's blues. It's blues rock or blues, whatever, it's got that backbeat on it.
From the roots of the blues to the future of hip-hop, it's all happening this June on Vaughn TV. Stream anytime on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and at Vaughn TV.
Hey, child.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90. Plus, free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
The movement for repair is growing. From city halls to parliaments and around the world, from Chicago to Cape Town, from Evanston to the UN, I'm Robin Rusin.
And I'm Cam Howard. Together we're bringing you Reparations Now, where we talk power, policy, and progress, local, national, and international.
It's about justice.
It's about repair. It's about time.
Reparations now, because justice cannot wait.
Reparations Now, Saturdays at 4 p.m., only on WVON 1690.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
To see the day when my people can all relate. We must stop fighting to achieve the peace that was taught in our country. We shall all be free. Follow me.
See, I'm ready for the picnic now.
Me too.
Damn, I wish it was this weekend.
Right, two more. Well, technically,
It's the 11th.
three more weekends.
July 11th. Had Wayne Williams on. I'm gonna have some more people on. I'm gonna call a couple of people on, a couple of the DJs, see if we can get Terry Hunter. See if I can get Terry on with us. Tony Hatchett, I'll call him. He lives in Houston these days. And Kim Parham, get her on. Make sure that she's the one. Really, I in my opinion, I think Kim Parham's the one that started the old school picnic. I think.
Okay.
To be honest with you, at least I'm thinking that I ran into Kim, like at a grocery store in Hyde Park called the Co-op, I think, or it was either Village. It was and I think I ran into her and she was like, "Hey, Matt, we're gonna have a picnic.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a house music, house.
Yeah.
Like
this is the first year.
Yeah, the very first one.
Wow.
Hey, we're getting
what
together.
What year was that?
Well, I guess we can do the math. Whatever year this one is going to be, we can do the math. But I'm thinking it was like early 90s.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a little picnic. Just come on, bring your kids.
Right.
Because
Just
my
like
kids,
a little meetup.
my kids were little, right? Okay, cool. Behind the museum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally right behind the museum on Museum of Science and Industry.
Yeah.
on with cars where the street that no longer exists. No, actually, you still can drive by where I think the original house picnic was. And trust me, it was probably about 40 people there.
Yep, I think my mom would have been one of
She
those
might have been
early
there.
people because she always talks
Yeah.
about going.
It was
pretty much. I don't know if she went to the first one, but shortly thereafter, and
we're laying
again,
out in the grass.
My brother and I would have been kids, maybe popping in and out.
We're laying
over
out in the
years.
grass, and they were DJing, no tent, no nothing. Just like seriously, about 50 people out there. We were playing softball.
Yep. Celebrating 36 years.
36 years.
So I'll do the math. That's 1990.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, about that. I
1990.
seriously, it was about 50 people out there, if that many. And it was interesting. All right, 591, a Democratic Socialist of America. Are you in Black America or no? Or is this, as some people, because here are some of the drawbacks. What I did, I read to you guys in the last segment all of the good things about it. Here are some of the criticisms, all right, of the DSA that people say you have to be concerned about. Conservatives argue its policies expand government too much, right? Discourage investment and move the U.S. towards socialism. Some centrist Democrats believe its agenda is too far left and could hurt the party in competitive elections, especially in what they consider to be battleground states. They say if the party goes too far left, we'll never win some of these battleground states. Some socialists on the left criticize the DSA for working within the Democratic Party instead of building an independent workers' party. And my question is, can an independent party work? Haven't we seen that the two-party system always squashes any talk of a third party?
Yeah, especially when it comes down to the votes.
Right.
So
that's something to consider. Yeah. Mark, welcome to WVON. What's on your mind?
Hey, when we talk about socialism and we talk about capitalism, Michael Moore did a wonderful documentary of explaining about the advantages of having a socialist system, but he also broke down the disadvantages of having a socialism system. In my opinion, we need both, right? So we can't operate in the state of this construct when we think about the United States, where it's really built off of capitalism and competition. And when we think about, you got young people that go into prestigious universities, they want to be doctors, lawyers. So when we had them, if they get a certain salary, if they get a socialist, and in the socialist system, that's like drawing money away from that person who actually been to school for X amount of years. When you think about capitalism, what we're saying right now, when we get like so many people who have X amount of money, billionaires, and then again, we seeing other communities that's not getting the benefits of what they need to get, that become impoverished. So I think it has to be like 50-50, and it can't be to the extreme where one is out doing the other. So that's my comment.
Yeah, I mean, but brother, and I agree with you. And see, that's why I think my criticism of the Democratic Party would be, why aren't you embracing these young people? And if you want to call them the Democratic Socialists, why aren't you embracing them and trying to see like, all right, you guys are really on to something. This issue of affordability is real, right? And we are spending a ton of money on wars that never end. And we've got communities in America where people are hurting. So I agree with you. It's got to be 50-50. I think it can work within the Democratic Party where they can embrace this movement. But instead, what I think you're seeing happening is like Haley joked before, the S word.
Right.
And so you play the fear factor game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Socialism, right? So then that gens up your Democratic billionaires, and then they start freaking out. Go ahead.
I don't want to cut you, but when you think about socialism, right, it's almost that you have to share, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But when you think about my analogy and my example, when you look at the beginning of Scarface, when he's on that boat, he's looking to the land of opportunity where I could work 24 hours a day for a whole month and I could build an empire. I couldn't do that. I had the freedom to do that. And you probably got some people, when they hear the word social, you probably got some people who actually work X amount of hours, who don't want to share. And that's what you're
That's
the
what
right. When you hear about socialism, but you also talk about sharing too.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
I think
comment.
that's no, I think that in a lot of ways that makes sense. But I think that again, this would be an oversimplification of the meaning of socialism, the definition, the issue, etc. What happens with everyone's money? Where does it go? What does it go to? Right? It's not just literally sharing. You get some, you get some, you get some. There are still economic constraints to what makes that system work, that I think that if people did take the time to really research, understand what that type of society could look like, once we laid out the facts, then we could come together. But right now, you're right, there are a lot of boogeyman concepts because nobody really knows what it means.
Right. And you know, it's interesting, Mark, that you use the word share, because Reverend Jackson used to use that word share. And when he would talk about the billionaire class, he would say, you know, he said, and I'm trying to think if I was having a private conversation with him doing commercial break or something, but I remember him saying, you know, the wealthy people have difficulty sharing, right? So he used that
they
word.
Don't want to.
He used that word share.
But I want to say this. But then again, if we were to play devil's advocate, right? That means that if I'm building an empire, well, I don't want to say empire. I would just say generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
And I'm working 2 or 3 jobs, so my kids can have some wealth. Is that bad?
No, but I don't think anybody's trying to take. See, and this is where I say you have to have a bigger tent, because I don't think anybody. DSA is trying to say no, that you cannot do that.
I don't think that's what they're trying to say at all.
Right.
These are bigger systems. These are big systems. These aren't you working 2 and 3 job systems.
Right.
And also building generational wealth is going to take more than just that.
Good call, Mark. In fact, it looks like Congressman Jonathan Jackson, I just mentioned Reverend Jackson, looks like Congressman Jonathan Jackson is on hold. So that means he wants part of this conversation, which is great. We'll talk to the congressman when we return. You're listening to the Matt McGill Show.
It's finally Friday in Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are our news headlines. Chicago Public Schools considering shorter school year. Sky Guard Courtney Vandersloot expected to debut tonight against the Fire. J.D. Vance says Diddy is not a Christian. BET Awards set for Sunday, and Amazon Prime Day ends today. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM, WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Here's BIN News Now. The family of Jabari Peoples say they're still heartbroken and looking for answers after Peoples was shot and killed by a Homewood, Alabama cop. It happened about a year ago, and his family held a vigil this week to honor his memory while still demanding justice. Peoples, who was 18 years old at the time, was in a parked car when he got into some type of altercation with that cop. Here's one activist speaking to WBRC.
We're calling to our people to stand up, to fight back, to get loud.
Well, the Mississippi Supreme Court says it will not hear an appeal from the Hinds County School District after they fired an assistant principal, Toby Price, in 2022 after he read the book, I Need a New Butt, to a second grade class. Federal probation officers say they want Lil Bootsy's probation revoked after they say he got into some type of incident in Texas. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Bootsy is currently serving 3 years of supervised release. I'm Timmy Eswick with BIN News Now. Back to you, Terry.
The U.S. has sent crews and supplies to Venezuela following a pair of powerful, deadly earthquakes that toppled buildings and left many trapped under rubble. Speaking in Bahrain, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said help is on the way.
We're already deploying a search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles. There'll be some others we'll add. That's the most immediate need right now is search and rescue efforts.
There are at least 160 casualties, and that number is expected to rise. Over 1,000 people were injured as a result of the magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 quakes. Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez has declared a state of emergency. A federal judge is striking down President Trump's executive order seeking to create an internal list of eligible voters based on available data. The executive order directs the U.S. Postal Service to only deliver mail-in ballots to individuals on each state's voter roll of federally approved citizens based on available citizenship data. However, the judge issued the fourth order striking down the action and echoed her colleagues in affirming that states have authority over their election processes. According to the judge, the president plays no direct role in the process of appointing electors, nor does he have authority to control the state officials who do. All right, will he or won't he? A sweeping housing affordability bill appears headed for President Trump's desk to be signed after a meeting yesterday with House Speaker Mike Johnson to salvage the bipartisan legislation. South Carolina's Black Senator Tim Scott recently touted the bill.
2026 is the year of affordability. The American people have been desperately seeking housing, and President Trump got it right in the State of the Union when he said housing should be for people and not for corporations.
But Trump unexpectedly canceled plans to sign the bill aimed at increasing housing supply, lowering costs, and restricting large corporate investors' role in the market. The bill became inextricably linked in House negotiations with the Save America Act, a controversial voting bill that Trump wants enacted. If he vetoes the housing measure, it would return to Congress. A veto override is a strong possibility as the 21st Century Road to Housing Act was passed overwhelmingly in the House and Senate. Johnson is indicating the bill is back on track. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says he's hoping Democrats remember when the primary elections are over that the party's enemy is Donald Trump. He told MS Now that the enemies are Trump and MAGA extremism in terms of trying to bring about the type of America that we all desire. Jeffries says when you work hard and play by the rules, working class people can live a good, affordable life. New York races saw Democratic candidates who have been vocal critics of Israel's government and who have led or taken part in pro-Palestinian protests defeat incumbents who support Israel after the Hamas attack. Jeffries says he supports Israel's right to exist and the aspirations of the Palestinian people to achieve the dignity that they appropriately desire. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow BIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
At WVON, we are Black and proud and Black in pride.
Reducing sodium in your diet can help lower blood pressure and reduce strain on your kidneys. And that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance. And they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berlin, Chicago. It's Matt McGill on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
Just a little bit of jazz tonight makes you feel alright. Just a little bit of rockin' tonight makes you wanna hold her tight. It's the music that you hear, shakes you to the stratosphere. You fly, you get high, you can even touch the sky. Just a little bit of jazz tonight makes you feel alright. Just a little bit of rockin' tonight makes you wanna hold the
Oh, yeah. This will get you in the mood for the old school picnic house. Today is House Day, National House Music Day. How about that, Chicago, as we celebrate Black Music Month in the Chicago catalog. And Haley's going to be out at the old school picnic.
I am.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
She's going to be the youngest one there.
We'll see. You know, I'm trying to encourage more of my friends to go. I think there is a group of young people who are out there. So we'll have to keep an eye out for each other.
All right. I
Spread
love
the
it.
word.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson in the house on WVON. Happy Friday, brother. How are you?
Hey, brother, man. You and happy Father's Day. Your program is always so interesting. I just had to ease in and call this time. Thank you for taking my call. But I listen to you so I can keep up.
Hey, Jonathan, you're acting like your dad. You know, Rev used to just call in whenever he wanted to, man.
3-4 times a day.
What do you think about this conversation, though, man? I mean, we see the results from Tuesday. I mean, I know I don't want to overreact to it and underreact. I'm about. Well, let me just ask you the question: does the Democratic Party have a big enough tent?
Well, I think we certainly have to expand it. The Republican Party, they can hold MAGAs, they can hold people who call themselves Christian conservatives, vote against everything that helps and protects women, and votes against anything that expands and helps a child, or reduce and cut food programs, vote against health care. And so, yeah, they found a way to make it work, and we can expand it. But I think my point on this socialism, I wouldn't get distracted on that language, but what is the big issue there? Is health care a human right? Is housing a human right? Is clean water a human right? Is living in decency as a senior citizen a human right? Then these are the things we have to talk about that add to our social fiber. And we have social programs all over the place. Social Security is an insurance program to keep senior citizens out of poverty, and we all pay and contribute to it. Banks have a socialism program where they have federal deposit bank insurance. They're not paying the cost of their insurance. The government is subsidizing that. The farmers have a Social Security program and farm conservation programs. So when we redefine and know what these programs actually are, we're not so hard on it on government should be involved in housing and in education and these essential things. The other part is, look at the NFL for our sports fans. That's not a purely capitalistic system. They have a cap on income for the players. They have a minimum amount that the owners can receive. When they do well, they have privatized gains, and they ask the public to pay for the stadiums in most of these urban cities, which is a subsidization. So it's a mixed economy. It's more nuanced, is what I would say, Brother Matt.
I love that. I love that. What do you think, Haley?
I agree. I agree. I think that, and that was kind of what I was saying with our last caller, is that I think that, yes, it can sound scary as a concept, but again, this wouldn't be the first time a private or a niche interest party came up under the bigger umbrella of Democrat or Republican. And I also think that a lot of the concepts that are driving some of the goals and initiatives of the DSA are concepts that, if people really did their research, educated themselves, understood, would probably align more favorably than not.
Right. I mean, and
Really, let me give you just one other example.
Mhm.
Elon Musk. Now we have our first recorded trillionaire on paper in American history. So Trump's economy is working. It's as designed. It's working for the wealthiest people. Not working for you and I, but it is working. And you have produced a trillionaire. But here's a person that is a South African immigrant who came to the United States that has had to borrow $500 million during the Obama era as he sought for electrification, and he was granted that subsidy. And the state of California passed laws to give a further discount to have people be induced to purchasing Tesla cars without any competition. So he had a market protected, had a tax credit, had a U.S. investment of $500 million.
Okay.
And that's what gave the start of Tesla. Now he's worth $1 trillion. Don't be afraid of that number, but just know what that is. That's a million millions equals 1 trillion. Don't be afraid of a trillion, but that's 1,000 billions that equals 1 trillion. If he makes 5% a year, he's going to make $50 billion in earnings, and you pay more taxes than Elon Musk.
Right,
So
right.
some people are saying, what do you owe the United States of America and its people for the benefit of our market? So yes, he should pay some. And so I support their goals. I'm not going to get caught up on the ideological terms.
Right.
But this is empirical evidence. Nobody talks about how much the owners make in football, but how much the players. You got to call
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You got to call all the owners Mister. You got to call all the ball players by their name or their nickname, just the first name.
I love that. Well, let me ask you this then. Why are some of your? I feel like some of your Democratic colleagues are nervous. The comments from Jamie Harrison, former DNC chair there, and it's it's almost like let's label these guys and declare war against the DSA, and yet it seems like you got a guy in New York who has figured out some language and connectivity to young people that are energized enough to come out and vote, while a lot of people sat at home.
Yes.
I think some of it would be they've not seen the light. They've not maybe understand the concept. Some do, and I would fundamentally disagree with them. But should we look forward to a day that public transportation is free? I think so. Should the museums around Chicago be free? I think so. These are cultural institutions that educate and enlighten people, transportation that moves people, gets people from welfare to work. People should not say I couldn't get to work because I could not afford transportation. So these are big ticket items I think the government should have a role in. I mean, the number one indicator of moving people from welfare to work is their access to transportation. So I'm all for subsidizing for the massive, the collective good that makes our economy stronger and takes people out of vulnerable positions. And if you do more, you get more, but there's got to be a floor for decency for those that cannot necessarily compete at the highest level, but do have a right to have a fulfilling and a human life fully developed. And sometimes flowers are late bloomers when we find out people's different learning behaviors. So I want to continue to invest in education. That's what keeps America strong.
Brother, you put it perfectly. Thank you for contributing to the segment. Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it very much. Congressman Jonathan Jackson, guys. And look, I couldn't ask for a better guest to end this segment because it just couldn't ask for a better guest. That's just the bottom line. I'm giving away some tickets, guys. I didn't realize that Shapiro told me, Matt, you're giving away some tickets. I am giving away a pair of tickets to the 2026 Emerald and Pearl Awards, hosted by the Conrad Worrell Community Reparations Commission. Our late great brother, Conrad Worrell, joined more than 200 community leaders, advocates, and change makers as Chicago's unsung heroes and heroines are recognized for their commitment to service, justice, and community empowerment. Awardees include our brother Cam Howard, who you can hear right here on WVON, Sherman Dilla Thomas, and more, our brother Dilla, who's doing such a great job. The Emerald and Pearl Awards takes place Saturday, June 27th from 5:30 to 9 at the Kennedy King College Grand Hall, 740 West 63rd Street in Chicago. to win, be caller number 3 right now at 591-1690, and you win a pair of tickets to go see that. All right, Haley, all right, do we got a guest coming up? No, at 2:20, I do, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Tony.
we do.
Tonie Robinson.
Tonie Robinson is coming up. Powerful new book out, and Tony's going to tell us all about it when we return on the Matt McGill Show.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON is celebrating Black Music Month with the Chicago Catalog, celebrating the legendary artist who gave the city its soundtrack. Brought to you by AARP. From the soul-stirring harmonies of The Impressions and Jerry Butler to the timeless brilliance of Donny Hathaway, Minnie Riperton, and Sam Cooke, Chicago sound has always been bigger than the stage. We're honoring the funk and fire of Earth, Wind, and Fire, the unmatched voice of Shaka Khan, the poetry and power of Curtis Mayfield, and the global movement born from Chicago house music. The Chicago Catalog is more than a music series. It's a love letter to the artists, innovators, and culture shapers who turned Chicago into one of the greatest music cities in the world. The Chicago Catalog is an exclusive feature of WVON and brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
It's D.L. Hughley.
When you see things like what happened in Virginia, where they had a special election and expanded seats for the Democrats, Republicans have been putting their fingers on the scale of the elections forever. They've always done it. They've always gerrymandered. But now they have gerrymandered everything to the nth degree that they don't have any more room to gerrymander. And now these Democrats have picked up 10 to 12 seats. Even after this is all over, we got to get back to people who are involved in the pedophile ring. We got to get back to ICE brutalizing people. So the war is a distraction, but from some pretty horrible that we got to get back to.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey, baby! I'm your Magnolia Blues man, Sir Henry Cheatham, inviting you to join us on WVON 1690 for some real American music and culture. Here on Classic Blues and R&B. Check us out Saturday, 11 p.m. until 2 a.m. on WVON and Classic Blues and R&B.
It's time to focus with Robert McKay. Quality conversation, protecting, preserving, and preparing our past, present, and future. Sunday evenings at 4 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, I'm attorney Ernesto Borges. I'd like to invite you to join me for the Borges Report for lively discussions about legal matters, politics, government, entertainment, and the topics that concern you in your life. Start your Sunday the Borges way with the Borges Report.
The Borges Report with Ernesto Borges, Sunday mornings at 9 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, so guess what? We're going to have to do it again, Haley, give away tickets because our third caller was like, hey, man, I'm doing something on June 27th.
Okay, well.
From 5:30 to 9. I can't be a Kennedy King. So I'm going to do, I guess I'll do it again during Lexi and Logan's session.
Okay.
Their piece there.
So we'll do lucky number.
A new lucky number. Go ahead.
All right. I'm so excited. We've got Tonie Robinson here in the studio. She is the author of a powerful new book featuring women from Chicago who are sharing their experience with grief. Again, Tonie is the author, but she's also hosting a book launch on Sunday, June 28th.
Okay.
And she's trying to speak to women specifically and for all people who are struggling silently with grief, which so many do understand. So Tonie, welcome. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
There you go. This is obviously, this issue of grief hits us all.
Yeah.
You just think about Chicago, what Black Chicago, I was just talking about this yesterday, with Black Chicago, we went through just losing our brother Spencer Lee Jr., right? We had the
whole city
was like, right, grief is real. Specifically, you focus on women, though.
Yes.
What's the energy behind it?
Well, the energy behind this book is a woman like myself who's walked through the various halls of grief. I just wanted to show other women that it's possible to have healing after a season of loss and disappointment. And so I specifically speak to women, but this book will help anyone who's walked through grief.
Sure.
So I've invited 7 other women to join me in this project, and we talk about the various forms of grief. So you'll find a variety of grief experiences in this book.
I love it. So I would imagine grief, like anything else, you go through stages.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would imagine part of getting through it is recognizing the stages that you're in.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I think, and I'm not a therapist, so I don't want to speak as if I am one. However, I have had extensive therapy in my last season of grief. And grief, the stages of grief is not a straight line. It's not linear. And so sometimes it's hard to recognize what stage you may be in. But I think the most important thing is to recognize that you are grieving. And sometimes that may be hard for someone to actually accept that they are in a stage of grief. But once you do that, I think that the process will be much easier to digest.
Yeah. I always say people, when they lose someone close to them, right, I always say that when it happens, you get all this love and support, right? It's that 3-month period you got to worry about, right? When everybody stops calling you, when you lose somebody, everybody's all over you. Yeah. How you doing? You need anything? How you doing? Right? Funeral, repast, all that, weeks after that, people are still checking on you, making sure you're all right. And then 3 months afterwards, right? That's really when it kind of hits people that, you'll never see that person again. Yeah. Because it's a little, like, I know when my father died, man, it was like, I had routines that just were hard for me to break, man. You know what I'm saying? And I remember just like one time leaving the radio station, and I would always call my dad, and I would go by this little sandwich shop, get a sandwich and check and see. And I found myself like picking up the phone about to call him.
Yep.
And in that moment, I was like having a meltdown. And but all the attention was away. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that is the most recognized form of grief. We talk about the grief of a physical loss, but in this book, you'll find people grieving unmet expectations. So I have a girlfriend, Todd Jones. She is grieving unmet expectations from a pregnancy that she didn't get to enjoy. I have another friend, Inez Woody. She talks about the grief of a health challenge that she experienced. And then my story talks about disenfranchised grief, which is the most untalked about form of grief because it's the most, it's the grief that is oftentimes not recognized. So I think that it's easier for people to show up for someone who experiences a physical loss.
Yes.
And although they may disappear months later, but it's easy for someone to show up with that type of grief. But there are many, many forms of grief that one can experience.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So, Tonie, would you say, in terms of your outreach, right, trying to reach different people, specifically women in various forms of grief for this book, any words to the listeners who might be wondering, do I qualify? Is this something that should be appealing to me? Should I go pick up this book? I'm curious. I don't really know if this applies to me.
Well, I would say to that person is grief will meet every person at some point in life. Grief is actually just loss experience. So we'll experience loss, whether it's loss of income, a job, you will grieve a situation at some point in your life. And so, like I said before, I do believe that you will find yourself in the pages of this book. We don't talk about every single form of grief, but there are multiple forms of grief that is discussed in this book. I do have a girlfriend that she experienced the loss of her mother, father, and both grandparents, all within a very short amount of time.
Man.
And so, I have another friend, Brianna Love. She talks about grieving she knew her grandmother was going to pass, but she still wasn't ready for it.
Mhm.
And so she began grieving a part of her grandmother in the anticipation of her passing, even before she
Sure.
did
Yes,
that.
sure.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you'll find yourself somewhere in the pages of this
Absolutely.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't care how prepared you think you are.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
like
never
if you're
ready.
dealing with somebody, like my father died suddenly. He died like how Spencer Jr. did, right? In his sleep, you know, like Spencer Jr. And some people call that a golden death, right? Because you don't see your loved one go through
there's not
pain, you know, and so because a lot of our family members died.
Yeah, my dad died of colon cancer,
Yeah,
and he
I can
battled
only
for
imagine.
5 years.
Wow.
And but to your point, Matt, it's
You
know,
think
is it-
you prepared
right,
for it.
you know you're not, but then it's not, you know, a sudden tragic death, but it's still tragic, and it's still something that you find it hard to prepare for, and you deal with it, ebbs and flows.
Yeah, I man, look, I say this all the time, you know, talking to friends of mine. You know, my mother died when I was 7 years old, right? So at that age, it hit me, but it was different than it would have been. It was totally different than when my father died, right? Because I had this long relationship with my dad, you know, but it was painful, man. You know, my mother died when I was 7, but a lot of my friends are losing their parents now, right? And I tell my brothers and sisters that are losing their moms, I'm like, man, you have no idea how lucky you are. Wow. My mother died when I was 7. Wow. So I start right there and it puts them in perspective a little bit, right? And as much as it makes sense to them and they understand, it still doesn't. I mean, it might make them feel a little better, but it still hurts. There's I don't care how prepared you think you are not going to be prepared. The brain prepares you, gives you the capability of doing everything in life, everything, right? We know how magnificent and amazing the brain is, except for dealing with the reality that you'll never see somebody again.
And it comes in waves,
right?
It hits you, and then it subsides.
We talk about how amazing the brain is and the human body is. Do anything except for prepare you to deal with. You'll never see this person ever again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to start crying up here. If y'all let me, man.
We better stop.
I will be. Tell real quick the event coming up.
So I have a book launch that is going to be on this Sunday, June 28th. It's in the south suburbs of Chicago. It's in Linwood. It's a private event.
I love it.
So you do have to register to come, but you'll have an interactive panel discussion, a one-on-one exclusive interview with me and a mental health professional. There's going to be live music. It's just going to be a great time.
I love it. You're amazing, sister.
And creating some joy in the grief too,
Absolutely.
right? There is a place for joy to exist amongst grief.
It
I
is.
think that's also important to say.
It is. And I want to also say that the book does not end in despair. So you don't find yourself just sitting in grief, angry, depressed, and sad. There are healing components woven into this book.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right, Tonie, thank you so much. Tonie Robinson,
Thank you.
You're absolutely amazing. I appreciate you. Haley's done for the day. Thank you, Haley.
Thank
You're better
you,
with
Matt.
as
I
we're
know.
both up here
I'm
with
so happy
water in
that-
our
right.
eyes.
But you know what, Tony? I think I'm going to buy your book.
How about that?
I think I'm going to buy your book.
How
Yeah,
about that?
that sounds right.
I'll
up my
buy one
alley.
too. How about that?
Yeah.
Thank you. And it can be found on my website, which is iamtonie.com. That's TONIE. iamtonie.com.
I love it. A lot of people need this, Tonie.
Yes,
I appreciate
so
you, my
much.
sister. All right, thank you, Haley. As always,
you,
we
Matt.
see you next week.
Yes,
Have
we
fun
will.
this weekend. When we come back, Logan and Lexi coming up. All right, don't go anywhere. News right now with Logan.
Hope you're having a fantastic Friday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's happening in your local and national news. Chicago Teachers Union Vice President Jackson Potter says CPS could face a shorter school year due to serious financial woes. He adds that they will either lose 2 weeks of class time or face 1,700 layoffs. The action plan comes as the school district faces a deficit of $732.5 million. The Chicago School Board has until August 29th to pass a balanced budget. In other news, Sky Point guard Courtney Vandersloot is expected back in the lineup tonight's game against the Portland Fire at Wintrust Arena. She had been sidelined for more than a year with an ACL injury. Vandersloot played most of her 15-year career with the Sky. She has been practicing with the team since early this month. In other news, J.D. Vance says Shonda D. Combs is not a Christian. The vice president made the comment today while promoting his new book Communion, Finding My Way Back to Faith, which has a chapter named after a hit song from the 90s featuring the famous rapper. Vance joked about being a millennial when he was asked about the title, a nod to the notorious B.I.G.'s Mo Money, Mo Problems, and added, "We found out in the last couple of years that Combs is very much not a Christian. Combs is currently incarcerated at Fort Dix Prison after being convicted in New York last year on prostitution-related charges." He referred to herself as a Christian in a letter to the judge before sentencing.
Be careful with me. Do you know what you're doing? Whose feelings that you hurting and bruising? You gon' gain the whole world, but is it worth the girl that you losing? Be careful with me.
And the BET Awards are set to take place this weekend in Los Angeles, hosted by comedian Drewski. Cardi B goes into the event with the most nominations, 6 in all. Right behind her, with 5 nominations each, are fellow rappers Kendrick Lamar and Mariah the Scientist. 2 new categories are being added to the awards lineup this year. They are the Fashion Vanguard Award and the Pulse Award, which will recognize the creator, campaign, or content series that most powerfully moved Black culture forward in digital spaces. And while you've been scoring the deals and waiting on those packages, Amazon is ranking in some serious cash this Prime Day. Adobe expects the e-commerce giant to make more than $26 billion of the 4-day shopping spree. Tracking service Numerator says the average shopper this year is spending about $150 and are more focused on stocking up than purchasing luxury items. Prime Day ends at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria J. Brown Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption and stitching free. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV+, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
Summer is here, the season of sunshine, fireworks, and the freedom to enjoy what matters the most. And at United Fidelity Bank, they believe freedom starts with smart savings. Whether you're grilling with friends, riding bikes with the family, or watching fireworks light up the night, your money should be working just as hard as you do. That's why this summer, you can open up a 6-month certificate of deposit with a 4.15% annual percentage yield. It's a simple, steady way to grow your savings without giving up the freedom of summer fun. At United Fidelity Bank, they don't just focus on numbers, they focus on you, your goals, your questions, and the kind of personal service you won't find at a big box bank. Because at United Fidelity Bank, you get the experience you need and the service you deserve. Stop by their Chicago flagship branch at 1701 West 87th Street to open your 6-month 4.15% APY CD today, or anytime at UnitedFidelity.com. United Fidelity Bank, where your summer of smart savings begins.
Rates subject to change at any time. CDs renew automatically to the standard rate in effect at the time of renewal unless instructed otherwise. Member FDIC.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
The movement for repair is growing, from city halls to parliaments and around the world, from Chicago to Cape Town, from Evanston to the UN. I'm Robin Rusin.
And I'm Cam Howard. Together we're bringing you Reparations Now, where we talk power, policy, and progress, local, national, and international.
It's about justice.
It's about repair. It's about time.
Reparations now, because justice cannot wait.
Reparations Now, Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on WVON 1690.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right. All right, let's do this again. We got to give some tickets away, Shapira. Is that what we got to do? All right, I am going to give some tickets away. We're giving away a pair of tickets to the 2026 Emerald and Pearl Awards, hosted by the Conrad Worrell Community Reparations Commission. Brother Conrad Worrell was a beast, man. Love Doc. He was amazing, and a true soldier, no question about it. Join more than 200 community leaders, advocates, and change makers as Chicago unsung heroes and heroines are recognized. Our brother Cam Howard's going to be recognized. Dilla's going to be in the house as well, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be Saturday, June 27th, guys. All right, from 5:30 to 9. So caller number 2, Shapira, caller number 2 at 591-1690. You get a pair of tickets there. How about that? What's up, y'all? Logan Page, what's happening?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. As she likes to say. What up, Lexi? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely wonderful. How's your mom?
Mom is good.
Yes.
She's good.
I love your mom.
I
She's
love
amazing.
her too. She's the GOAT.
She is amazing. I saw Lexi. I saw Lexi yesterday and didn't even realize that was her. I'm mad.
It's okay.
Yeah, because I saw you. And I started to say something. I was like, oh, she's
gone. Just like that.
She's gone.
Coming and going.
Gone in the wind. Everything like that. What's been happening? What you guys been up to? Our favorite young people, millennials.
I got to do some cool stuff last week, and
like what?
What'd you do?
I got to sing background vocals for Jennifer Hudson, Common, and John Legend at the Obama Presidential Library.
Were you
opening.
really? Oh
Yeah.
wow! Did you see her? Were you out there?
I saw her on TV. I couldn't make it.
Oh, that is. You were on stage. So you were there on the Thursday then.
I was there on the Thursday
Oh, wow.
all day. But yeah, so if you go
So
and
you
watch
guys-
the live stream,
You
you can
guys.
see me.
Yes.
See, they're A-listers. She's an A-lister. I was way in the park somewhere with the commoners.
You're still there.
You could hear me.
I could hear you. My daughter was there though. My daughter worked
We took
there.
a selfie together.
You saw Peyton?
actually.
Okay,
Wait,
good,
yeah,
good,
let
good.
me show you.
Oh,
But
see, that's great.
we were backstage together because she was watching over Marseille.
Mhm.
Martin,
Yeah, she did.
and
Yeah.
Marseille's dressing room was right next to our dressing room.
Yeah.
So we were all kind of in the back, which was really fun. And I was like, we have to take a selfie so I can show your dad.
Oh, that's so great.
And then we both talked about, how crazy you are, of course.
And she had such a good time, man. She was like, "Oh, I'm on cloud 9, man." And and I was trying to tell Peyton, live in the moment because you never know when those moments ever will. Oh, look at her. You never know when those. And you know what was funny? I just happened to walk up on her. She was with. How do you say her name?
Marseille.
Marseille. She was with Marseille. And I just happened to walk because they came over to
The field, right? Yeah, she was hosting you guys.
And I was walking around and I was like, can I go through this area here? And all of a sudden Peyton pops out, right? Oh, hey,
It's my child.
it's my daughter, right?
Did you get to meet Marseille?
She was there. I didn't, you know.
Okay.
I'm real nonchalant about celebrities, though, man.
Right.
Like people be like, Matt, come here, take a picture. And I'm like, even when we have celebrities here, man, a lot of times I'm kind of like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And
right.
but I tell I was trying to tell Peyton, live in the moment because you never know when moments like that will happen again. Like I have had some in my life, I have had some amazing events, backstage moments that are just absolutely unbelievable, right? And you just they happen, and then when they don't happen, right? You never know when a moment like that will happen again. All right, now I'm in radio, of course, they happen. I still have access to those moments, but I'm even talking about before I got into radio, man. I found myself in places and backstage and with big time celebrities and at events. Michael Jackson's video. Not just that. The Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
You
lived the life, Matt.
I mean, I've just been.
Are you a hot girl? Like
I guess. I guess.
That's a hot girl.
Or a groupie. I don't know. Maybe. Or roadie. or something. But just being at big events and being around celebrities, right? And I was trying to tell her, hey, live in this moment, right? Because this might be the biggest. Like for example,
have another black president too.
Right.
who knows? In our lifetime, will we?
Right. Who Who knows?
Will I get another Chicago black
right from the South Side? Grew up down the street.
Think about that,
Crazy.
though.
Yeah. I'm like still processing even like the fact that the library is being built and was done, and just like there's so much history that goes.
Speaking of being around Dwayne Wade, like that was so much fun. It's just amazing.
I mean, but you're making a point, though.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you guys are in your 20s.
Right.
Will we ever have another? Will you see another black president in your lifetime?
I manifest we will.
Right. I hope so. But it's very possible we won't.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I don't
know.
True.
I don't know if they trust us.
Hello for president.
Ooh, right. How do you think,
president?
Matt? Could you see us running the world?
I think I could see you guys running the world. Of course, you're smart and talented. I think they could do it, guys. I think so.
You know, Germany had a woman in leadership, and she
and
really
Angela,
did great. Yeah,
Angela Merkel. She was there. I think she
yeah,
said
she
to
was
Obama.
actually. She got on stage, and I was like, "That's a goat."
Yeah, she was not. You know what? And when she was a badass. Now
She was.
She was no joke.
She was not playing.
Angela Merkel was not playing, y'all. She had her issues like every.
She's human.
Yeah, I mean, with just the politics of Germany at the time went up and down, and the economy, I think, had some influence on her tenure there. But she was a badass when she was on Margaret Thatcher. Yeah, I mean, we've had. Here's the question: will America have a woman president? Because think about it, right? I think how close Kamala came to being the first woman president of the United States and our second black president, right?
Right, but she's our first female VIP,
Vice
VP,
president.
right?
Yeah. I mean, Hillary wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
That's her running.
That's okay
for women.
I mean, honestly,
I
maybe
couldn't. I'm gonna tell you guys, I couldn't stand seeing Hillary on the podium, though.
I knew
I'm not a Hillary fan anymore
I'm not.
Why?
because she took down Gaddafi,
Okay.
and that pisses me off.
Yeah,
As
that's
black
fair.
people and black power. Tony's trying to come back in the studio. All right, Tony left her keys.
Tony
Are
left
they?
the keys.
All right, everybody, stop the show. Where are Tony's keys? You sure you left them in
I
here?
don't think they're in here.
Tony, where are you?
Thank you.
Tony just wanted us to talk about her book again, guys. That's all. She stuck her head in here. Her new book featuring women from Chicago who share their grief, and her book signing. That is so funny. I didn't see her keys in here. Did you guys?
No, but life happens. I forget things often. And
So you sang background.
Yes.
So did you rehearsed, obviously.
so it was kind of a weird situation. About a month ago, they had asked us to kind of block off that week,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't really say what.
Mhm.
And we get to do a lot of really cool kind of like secret gigs
Mhm.
as an alumni.
So you
of,
didn't know you were going to be as an alumni of what?
Chicago Children's Choir, now known as Uniting Voices Chicago.
Oh, so you were part of the choir.
Right, exactly. So I was part of the choir.
Oh, see, I wanted it to be like an background, Lexi.
But like I was in the first row. You could see
Don't
me.
forget the first row. I want you to be by yourself
But I can't sing background vocals by myself.
because it's that voice in the back.
But you can actually hear me. Like if you know what I sound like, you can
Right.
hear me. But yeah, we did some sessions, some rehearsals leading up to it, dress rehearsals, and then we were rocking and rolling all the way Thursday.
When you did your rehearsal, who was the musical director?
Josephine Lee, incredible artistic and
So-
director and president of Uniting Voices.
So when you were in, who was on keyboards? It wasn't.
It was John was playing for himself.
Oh,
and
John.
then-
That's right. Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. That's.
And then Jennifer Hudson's musical director, I'm not exactly sure his name, but incredible guy, played keys for her.
That that was how am I I'm zoning on my guy Richard Gibbs.
Richard, is that her musical director?
I think that's that
Okay, yeah.
Chicagoan, right?
Yeah.
Kind of husky guy.
No, he was shorter. I think he was close to bald, maybe.
Oh no, that's not.
Maybe he got worked out. Maybe
Yeah.
he's doing Pilates.
Right, maybe. But the Roots, we got to play with the Roots. The
Oh, the
Roots
Roots,
was the
right.
rest of the band on
Because
stage.
Richard Gibbs is one of the baddest boys in Chicago when it comes to
Yeah.
keyboards, right? But
Okay.
who you're describing is not Gibbs, but Gibbs is usually Jennifer Hudson's
Musical director.
yeah, and keyboard. I mean, just so you know, he was Aretha Franklin's guy on the keyboard. Fred Nelson sometimes is as well.
Okay, no,
and
yeah.
these are two Chicago legends.
This was a younger guy,
Yeah.
probably in his 30s or 40s.
No, that's not Gibbs though. But like if you mention like you go to any Black Baptist church in Chicago,
Say Gibbs.
and you talk about Gibbs, they'll be like, oh man. Fred Nelson too though. So I'm kind of surprised they probably weren't there, but they just probably had a different little. All right, 248. Let's see if we got a winner on our tickets. And we'll be back with Logan and Lexi right after this.
More from Matt McGill coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Kidney disease affects Black Americans at disproportionately higher rates. Early awareness and routine testing matter, and that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Some cities create music. Chicago created a movement. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, a new sound emerged from Chicago's clubs, warehouses, and dance floors. It was called house music, driven by innovative DJs, producers, and artists like Frankie Knuckles, Marshall Jefferson, Farley Jackmaster Funk, and Cashmere. House music combined disco, soul, electronic rhythms, and pure creative energy into something entirely new. What started in Chicago quickly spread across the country and around the world, influencing everything from pop and hip-hop to EDM and dance music. Today, house music remains one of Chicago's greatest cultural exports, a sound born in the city, embraced by the world, and still moving people to this day. They gave Chicago its soundtrack, and the world never stopped listening.
The Chicago Catalog, an exclusive Black Music Month series brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Greetings, WVON family. It's your brother and friend, Bomani Obadeli of the Activist Hour. Join me on Saturday mornings as we discuss a holistic and public health approach to addressing community violence. We will also be discussing ways that we can create a safe, peaceful, economically thriving, and healthy communities. Join me Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. on WVON for the Activist Hour.
Now back to Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
With DJ.
You better
All right, Shapira, who won the tickets Somebody won some tickets. Who was it, Shapira?
They don't want these tickets.
Okay. We gonna have to give somebody.
I'll take them.
Don't call in if you're not gonna go, guys. Let's do it again. Caller number 3 at 591-1690. We're giving away a pair of tickets to see the Emerald and Pearl Awards. It's Saturday, 5:39. You're gonna eat free, guys. I don't know why you don't want to go, and you're gonna see some amazing talent. Cam Howard's gonna be there. Dilla's gonna be there, getting an award and celebrate it. So caller number 3 right now at 591.
The historian
16. The historian Dilla. That's right.
Dilla.
You know, hey Lexi, you know can't nobody hear you when you're sitting way back there. The woman who knows about sound, acoustics,
Dilla.
and a studio, and she's way back there talking about the historian Dilla. And then she gets up to the microphone. You see how your girl did us?
You was trying to leave us. I'm just taking
And she's back there texting.
On the live.
She's back there texting. I'm on my way after the show.
Actually, I was trying to order some food. I just realized
Going
I
to Texas.
haven't eaten today. Don't put my business on the interweb. They don't need to know that, Matt. Not yet.
I didn't say you.
Right. I think I'll post my man when I have a ring on my finger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right now.
You see?
I love that attitude. I love that
Thank
attitude,
you.
though, because that's what it's about, though. The system we need,
Right.
and the right brothers do the right thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that, Lexi. Anyway, let's see what Mark Carter. What's on Mark's mind? Mark's been holding on. Mark, what's going on? I'm letting. Hey, Mark. I'm giving you the privilege of being on this segment with these two amazing young ladies.
Yeah, but I was. How y'all doing, young ladies? But I was speaking. I wanted to speak on the part about this socialism. None of that stuff work for us as black people. The only thing work for us is what our great grandparents were doing after slavery, man. When we built all those towns and owned everything. You know what I mean? We're not aligning with no socialism headed up by people like George Soros. Why would we do that, Matt?
Well, I don't think that's what these cats, these Democratic Socialist Americans, they own something else though, man. They ain't trying to be connected with George Soros either. I don't think. In fact, I think
whatever they're doing, it does not work for us.
Right. I think Soros is their target.
How's Dummy a socialist when he's a billionaire?
What was the first?
Well,
point?
Mandami's not a billionaire.
He is a Libra. Though.
He's not a billionaire. He looked. He did his tax. He released his taxes the other day.
You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff, man. Look, we doing some black stuff now. We ain't doing no people of color, black and brown. You know what I mean? We don't benefit from that, right? And so it's best for us to look at just outside of slavery. That Matt, our people own and built 2,000 and 3,000 towns and cities. The worst thing could have happened, and once Dr. King saw that it was a bad idea, he said he had integrated his people into a burning building.
He did.
And that was, we start going toward all that old socialist stuff. He listening to the guy, Bayard Rustin and all of them. And, I don't beat up on Dr. King because he was a young man. Even when he got killed, he was young. He started out leading at 25. He died at 38, 39 years old?
39 years old, man. Yeah, brother.
So now look back at your 38, 39-year-old.
Man. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was no Dr. King, I can tell you that.
Yeah, so to our young people, we need to be showing them how they gonna own and build their neighborhood, not be mad and marching all the time and getting some grant program, pimping poor people.
So
that's all that does.
I think times are different though.
All right, go ahead, Lexi.
I was gonna say, I think what is expected of us is different because of what our grandparents and our past generations have done for us. I don't think we need to go in and build towns and build communities. I think we need to infiltrate education systems. We need to teach our young people how to survive. We need to keep the history alive so that people understand when you are stepping into new territory, stepping into places that maybe haven't favored you in the past, you can navigate and still find success from it. I don't think it's realistic for us as 27-year-olds to say we're going to go start an all-black town on the West Coast somewhere in California that's strictly for us. But what we can do is...
hold on, finish. What we can do
just what we can do is continue that mindset and legacy through other things. I think what we are required to do is different because of what's been provided for us.
Right. I like that.
Listen,
And Mark
I'm
probably
not
agrees
saying
with
we
that.
have
Go
to
ahead.
go anywhere. We don't have to go nowhere. Chicago is a black city. The majority of this city is black.
But we shouldn't stay in Chicago too. We need to see the world. We need to travel. We need to understand life outside of Chicago, outside of America, outside of American racism. I had the privilege of living in the UK for 4 years and learning a lot about what it means to be Black in other spaces and the different opportunities that are provided, and then take that back and help. Again, that's why I say educate and infiltrate spaces that maybe haven't been primarily for us before. I think Chicago is a great Black city, but we shouldn't stay limited to Chicago just to focus on its Blackness. We should take that and show that it's possible to exist as Black people any and everywhere and have success.
Okay, well, let me end.
I love that, Lexi.
Let me end by saying this. Greektown is the foundation of the Greeks in this city. Chinatown is the foundation for Chinese in this city. Black people must have a black town where we own and control everything. And now, little sister, I get it, but we're a little older, and so we see things sometimes totally different. And the future belongs to y'all, make no mistake about it. But we have to lay that foundation.
Well,
so
y'all low-key didn't. You didn't, or else we would have a place where it was owned by Black businesses, right? Like that groundwork hasn't been as completely established by past generations, and that's not a shot. It's just. But
well, a couple of things though.
We understand, and that's why we're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Hey, Mark, Lexi sounds like you a lot, man. Now she's saying some of the things that you usually say.
That's what I'm loving it.
Okay.
I'm loving
But
it.
no, let me say this though. But hold on, let me say this though. But like Dorothy Tillman was trying that, right? Dorothy Tillman was she wanted to create in the 3rd Ward over there like a Black, quote unquote, a Black town, right? She wanted to build this Black village over there, right? So the problem is, so Lexi, some of it is that you have leaders who try to do it, and then you have some obstacles that are going to push them back just because they're Black and they're trying to do something like that that's going to show some Black independence,
someone
right?
needs to pick up the pieces and keep
And
going.
that's what. So both can be right though.
Right.
What you're saying, infiltration can be right, and what Mark is saying, build, and I think both can be right.
Both can exist.
And both can exist. All right. Good segment, guys.
Problem solved.
The revolutionary
Logan Lexi.
Lexi. I'm going to text your mama and tell her, did you hear your daughter on here being a revolutionary? Black Panther up in the house? All right. 3:00. We're out of, I believe, is Ken Duncan in the house? Ken coming up next, y'all. Love you guys to pieces. Please share the show with everybody out there, and so that Black people all over the world can know, so that people all over the world can know that Black people are talking. They're doing it right here on WVON. Love you guys, pieces. Love you, Logan Page and Lexi.
Love you, VON.
Love VON. We're out of here, guys. Enjoy your weekend.